I'll say that.
Oh, geez. Did you want to finish your summary, Simon, or did you want to save it for...
Continue.
Oh, no, go ahead. Let's start
Oh.
the show.
I thought
Right.
it was interesting. We were getting a little bit of a history lesson, and it all revolved around the movie that Kenneth Branagh made, a semi-autobiographical movie called Belfast.
Yeah, I just saw that preview. Cool.
Yeah,
I
haven't watched the trailer for it yet, but I was telling Simon that there's this big, huge display in the movie theater where Arturelia works, and the theater had sent around an invitation for people to come view it or screen it for free, like a week ahead of time. But I didn't take them up on the opportunity because life's been kind of chaotic here, so it just didn't work out. But then I found out it was about Kenneth Branagh. So I was like, oh, okay. Simon's interested, obviously, because he's from the area and he's curious to see how it compares to what he experienced in the area. So.
Sorry. So
What?
and the guy on Facebook, Chris, I think he might want to join.
Chris Sullivan?
Yeah.
Oh, well, he can if he wants.
Yeah.
You know what?
Continue with the show. So we're at the
send him the
final
link,
1999.
1999. Wow.
The final year of the 90s.
The Matrix.
The Matrix. So when I think of 99, I think of The Matrix. That's one of the first movies. But in all honesty, I'm going to start off by saying I wasn't blown away by 99, y'all. There were other years that hit me more than 99. So I'm going through the list and I'm like, these movies are good. I liked them. But it was honestly a little difficult to pick a top three because I just feel a little meh about the year. I don't mind it. It just didn't really blow me away.
I don't know. From looking what I've seen so far, I don't think it's my favorite year, but I think there is a lot of good ones. I think
there's a long list of ones certainly that are worth talking about. I mean, there are a lot of films.
Yeah.
But I think this is Simon's favorite year.
One of the 90s, certainly. But yeah, there's loads of good movies here.
Yeah.
Some of these I had forgotten about. Yeah, we never got around to Fight Club, Colin.
That was one I was going to say, too. That and Matrix are probably my top three. I guess I should just say it already. I feel like.
He's just going to go ahead and just give it to us.
I don't know what else is. There's a lot of good movies, but those are right at the top. I mean, for different reasons. But they're both really stylistic and cool.
Okay. Sorry.
Dirty Work. Oh, yeah.
No.
We talked about it last year. 98. We talked about it last year.
Yeah, exactly. But we didn't. Glenn's already got. Wait. Glenn's got his 1, 2, and 3. It's just one title. Matrix. Okay. All right, Glenn. Well, that wasn't too hard for you, was it? But earlier he said he forgot to pick his. He still got 7 minutes, so he came up with the Matrix. All right. Okay. I'm going to go back through. So Chris said he'd made his list. All right. And then Glenn was getting a little impatient. He said to hurry up. This is before we even went live.
Yeah. And I'm like, be patient.
And Chris said not his top three, but he did narrow it down. Okay. Let's see. Oh, hey, Joe. I hope you're feeling a little better anyway. Sorry, you're under the weather. He says he has a list of 17. We'll have to whittle it down to 10 or 3.
Uh-oh.
Okay, that might be a challenge. Okay, Chris has 5 with some honorable mentions. Glenn said he has at least 5, and then he said the Matrix is his 1, 2, and 3. So I guess we'll have to find out what his 4 and 5 are. Maybe not the great. Yeah.
Well,
okay.
Okay. I think I'm a third. Yeah, okay.
Well, I could go through the list here.
The top 10.
So
maybe we should set a tone. Maybe we should set a tone for the year.
Okay.
By pointing like the best performance of the year, which was Kevin Spacey in American Beauty, where he is an old man hitting on children. So I feel he really pushed himself with that role. So.
He didn't have to reach too deep, did he?
No.
Oh, geez. I hate that about Kevin Spacey. I keep hoping it's going to end up being proven wrong. 'Cause I like him, but it's like,
like he's in two of the best movies. And then I was kind of trying to work on like a top 10 '90s movies list, and Usual Suspects and LA Confidential are both two of the best '90s movies, and he's in there.
On 7.
And and 7, yeah.
Oh yeah. Right,
Damn.
gosh, I've only seen that movie once, and that was the last time.
He was in some really good movies, man.
Yeah, the very first thing that I saw him in was Outbreak. That was when I first noticed him, and then it just seemed like he was popping up everywhere. So I feel like the '90s were really his year. In other words,
decade, yeah.
All right, Levi.
I was so obviously number 1 is no surprise. Can you
Wait, for your favorite or for box?
No,
for the
box
year.
office.
Not box office.
Star Wars,
It's no surprise.
Star Wars, yep.
That
I was there,
a big deal.
Phantom Menace.
I guess
really into Star Wars at the time. I was 14, and I was, that was my peak Star Wars. I didn't actually like Star Wars as a kid, but then when one of my best friends was really into Star Wars when I was like 12 or 13. I kind of got into it because he was into it, and Phantom Menace came out, and we were so excited. And I was like, it's awesome. But then I started to
thought about it, yeah.
as I got older and out of loving Star Wars.
Yeah, it was
not very awesome.
There was so much excitement for it. I remember it was huge. And this was before the days of widespread internet access, and it was huge. And I remember people camping out for like weeks or months for a ticket, and it was just crazy. But I didn't see it until the following year, 2000, when it came out on video. And I remember specifically the day I saw it. Arturo, company was coming over to visit Mama and Papa, and I remember I was walking you down to the mailbox to go get the mail or whatever. You were real little.
I don't even remember that.
Yeah, I remember that was just the day I saw Phantom Menace, and I remember feeling kind of bummed that it wasn't as good as I'd been hoping.
Yeah.
So it was a bit of a disappointment.
But you weren't in on the hype at all. You weren't like a big Star Wars fan at the time in '99 when it came out or anything. So you didn't even go see it.
No, at the time I wasn't really regularly going to go see movies on the big screen at all. That particular.
Oh, you had a little kid, I guess.
Yeah. Yeah. He was real tiny, and I liked Star Wars and I was excited about it, but not enough to go see it on the big screen. And so I didn't really pay attention, honestly, to how people felt about it. So I had no idea that it didn't really, because I wasn't reading a whole bunch of reviews and stuff in the newspaper. So I really didn't know that it ended up, despite the mass enthusiasm for it initially, that it ended up being kind of a disappointment overall.
Yeah. Well, okay. I recently, last year we watched it with our cousins.
I was gonna agree with Chris actually before he said that. I say the same thing.
About Ray Park.
The Duel of the Fates, the soundtrack, Duel of the Fates is awesome. And that fight scene with Darth Maul, give it credit. That was pretty cool.
Yeah, the fight scenes were good. The action scenes were good.
There were some good moments to it for sure. I felt a little creeped out by the whole Padme and Anakin thing because he was so little and she was a few years older than him at the time. And there was
awkward. Not even like creepy awkward, just boring.
Kevin Spacey awkward.
Force. I don't know.
Simon.
Stop it with that. Stop it. Stop.
A lot of that, though, looking back, it had just felt so artificial and cold, and like there was no connection between anyone, and they were just reading lines. It felt a lot of it, and that, especially between them, it felt like there was not that they
chemistry
in any way,
right? So, like, he was infatuated with her, but I didn't get the feeling she felt the same way. But I knew that eventually they'd end up, and so it just felt a little odd. Okay, sorry, Simon, I interrupted you. Go ahead.
When Lucas made the original trilogy, he was a director. But when he made the prequel trilogy, he'd been the CEO of an effects company for like 20 years. And I think that's the lens of which the prequel trilogy needs to be viewed. It's a commercial for ILM more than anything.
I mentioned it before, but the Red Letter Media takedown of the prequels are so funny and so insightful. It taught me about movies, and and it was really good. And it takes down the prequels while comparing them to the original Star Wars trilogy and showing you why the original is so beloved and why the prequels aren't.
Yeah, I mean, there's a big difference between the two, definitely. But
There is a different feel to them for sure.
So the thing with one, yes, it's my least favorite of the prequels, but that's a given. There was some issues, and Jar Jar Binks.
same.
Like, did we really need
gosh.
Jar Jar Binks?
We still sometimes this is pod racing. Me and my friends will be like, now this is pod racing. It's just, yeah, just to be cheesy.
I think I know we introduced our little cousins to it last year. We started it in
feels
order.
like a lifetime
the
ago.
original,
Yeah.
Then we went to the
and
prequel.
then we went through 1, 2, and 3. Yeah. It was fun experiencing that with them because they'd never really had an interest, but then we talked them into it and they were all into it. And it was, they liked
We
the
got
first
a video
episode.
of it. We got videos of their reactions
Yeah,
of everything.
we got some videos of their reaction to, of course, the big reveals, and all the twists and stuff. It was funny.
Did they start in lightsaber signs?
Did they start seeing? Did you say lightsaber sounds? Did they
start doing the lightsaber? Sorry.
Oh, no,
yeah.
They did.
No, wait. So when your mom took them up on vacation
upstairs?
on vacation
to the lake. Okay.
Yeah. They apparently, from what she said, they were starting to do these zoom or bow.
I didn't know that. That's funny. Okay, so I guess it had an impact on them.
The reason I asked is because apparently it was the same while filming The Phantom Menace. They had to get Liam Neeson and Ewan McGregor to stop doing the
Ewan McGregor. He kept doing that. Yeah, I know. That's one of the early pieces of trivia I found. I always thought that was really cute. And but speaking of casting, I feel like Ewan McGregor was perfect for the role.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
I really liked. I just like I couldn't think of anybody else who would be better suited.
I'm sorry, but man, I can't help with the red letter media thing where they're like, man, it would have been great if Qui-Gon Jinn and Obi-Wan Kenobi had been combined into one character named Obi-Wan Kenobi. And that was the character because like Qui-Gon Jinn was so pointless and unnecessary.
Yeah, he felt like he was there for filler.
Yeah,
mm-hmm.
It could have been all
I agree with you, Sashi, though.
Yeah,
about them being better than
I know they have issues, but I always had this like sort of a disagreement with some of the other. I was saying, even though there's flaws with them, at least he was trying to tell a story. Then how Disney kind of just took it for profit,
I actually liked episode 2 and I liked episode 3. When I look back on it, 3 is my favorite. I remember I was a little bit obsessed with 3 just because, not necessarily, I mean, like Hayden Christensen didn't do a great job in there and he's not that bad of an actor. So I don't, people feel like a lot of times the actors in Star Wars were kind of stunted by the dialogue because it's just not so great.
You underestimate my power.
You underestimate my power. But I still liked the story of episode 3 just to see his gradual descent into what he became. And it was just like I felt like this impending sense of doom because I knew what was going to happen. And I was just like, wake up, Anakin, snap out of it.
That movie in general, after rewatching it as of last year with our cousins, I realized it's so depressing.
It is depressing, actually. It's very depressing. But okay, so
we got episode 1. Obviously, would be numero uno.
Yeah, just because of the
number 2 actually is The Sixth Sense. And wait a minute, Disney owned that? What?
They were the distributor.
Yeah.
Sixth Sense was big too. Everyone was talking about it. It had like the
twist
ending.
Yeah, the twist at the end.
So Arturo managed to go all these years
and never know
without ever knowing what the twist ending was awesome. Because he saw it for the first time a couple weeks ago.
What did you think?
Yeah.
Well, yeah, I didn't piece too much of even though now after watching it, when you go back, like, okay, now everything is piecing together if you rewatch it a second time.
Right.
But at that moment, no, not really. But when you see the reveal, then okay, well, it makes sense.
Yeah.
And when you rewatch it, obviously, I read this article while he was watching it. I was reading articles about it, and this article was basically coming from the point of, if you say you guessed the ending when you first saw it, you're lying.
Yeah.
Like you obviously heard trickles of information about it and pieced it together as you were watching it, but like there's no way you could have really realistically guessed it. I don't know of anybody who really has honestly guessed it,
I would
because
bet
it was
someone
so
has,
subtle.
but-
What's that called?
I would
What's
bet
that?
someone has, but very rarely. I wouldn't believe someone if they said they did.
I know, right? I'd have
Out of,
trouble.
like, the millions of people who saw it, because it is. I mean, everyone knows it. Spoiler alert! But I mean, it's a ghost movie, and you're figuring out one of the two main characters is maybe. It's kind of like it's not that hard to make a guess, but like what might be going on. But no, I had no idea, and I was so like I knew there was a twist, and I was like, I'm gonna figure it out. I'm smart.
Yeah, right.
I'm a
No
good
idea.
detective. I'll figure
Yeah.
this out.
Yeah.
I went into it knowing that there was a twist as well, but I did not know what the twist was. I saw it early-ish on, not like right away, maybe a year. It wasn't too long, but I did not see it coming because he was so masterful at sort of diverting your attention.
Yeah.
But of course, when you go back and look now, you're like, oh yeah, the signs were all there. Nobody else spoke to him
Yes.
except for the child.
Yeah.
It's just, I thought it was
It's
brilliant.
really well done. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's kind of like, man, M. Night kind of set the bar too high for himself because everyone was
Yeah.
like, this guy is gonna blow us all away over and over again, and it was like,
Yeah.
no, it was just that one time.
Well, okay, to be fair, I actually really like Signs. That's probably my
I do
favorite
too.
M. Night
I
Shyamalan
do too,
film.
actually. Yeah, I do too. And I thought Unbreakable was really good. I thought
yeah.
he did
Yeah.
deliver.
Mm-hmm.
The next two movies, I thought they didn't have the big twist, but I liked them. And I liked
Well, Split had a pretty interesting. I mean, I figured. Well, I found out what was the twist with Split, but
Because of his split personality. Well, Village had a bit of a twist as
the
well.
ending of that.
Oh, well, that's
When
not
you
really,
find out, but I heard, I think either from you or somebody or somewhere else that it was
in the
That's
same
that-
universe.
Yeah,
That's
same
good.
universe.
all-time top three or all-time 90s top three right there. But we're doing 99 though, specifically.
Yeah, we're going too far into the 2000s.
Yeah, I know we are. Chris, yes, the Clone Wars animated series is really good. We went to go see the movie when it came out.
Oh,
Was
yeah.
it in 2008?
Or
And
a
that
few months
was
after
what-
it came out, I think. Like we went to that that
We
one
went to that
theater
theater.
that had pizza. It had
Yeah.
other stuff.
And that was what kicked off the series. And we used to watch the series every Friday night when it came on. That was a lot of fun.
Those were
enjoyed
the
that show.
days.
I
Oh
know.
my gosh,
Seems like forever ago.
I feel old.
Not watching, don't have the time. Just saying hello, fellow movie buffs. Okay, no problem. Hi, Dan. Hope you're doing well. Yeah.
So
This is good.
Toy
I like that
Story
movie.
2. To be fair, I did watch this as a kid, but can't say if I remember if I also skimmed around, just like everything
I
else.
thought you saw it all the way through.
I think I might have, but
I don't
you
think
know.
I got you that one in Spanish.
no.
Did I?
I didn't.
I don't think so.
Mm-mm.
My feelings on Toy Story 2 was just, it was like unnecessary because I think it was weird because for me it was more of the same in a way that was kind of like I didn't really need any more. I guess in the same way that a lot of people liked it, and I guess I did too. I liked it. I really liked it when I went and saw it. But looking back now, it's kind of like, I don't know, maybe I'm being too critical. It just
Feels a little redundant, right?
it felt like they just kind of did, yeah, redundant.
Yeah.
Basically.
It was more of Woody's story, to be honest.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, like Toy Story 1 was kind
Buzz.
of it was Buzz's story, but also Woody's in a sense, and then Toy Story 2
Then-
focused on
then-
Woody.
The second one's based mostly on Woody because he's supposed to be like this kind of old toy from the 50s or something.
Yeah.
Something like that.
I mean, but when I think of all the Toy Stories, one is probably still my favorite, just because even though the animation, you can tell it's not quite as good as the newer ones.
It's more classic. It's more classic.
It was just so unique, and that was the first time we'd experienced something like that. And so, of course, by 2 and 3 and 4, the novelty of it had worn off. They were still enjoyable, but didn't quite feel the same.
Special, I feel.
Yeah.
First one was special, and the others didn't add really anything.
Tú eres un juguete.
Tú eres un juguete. Yeah, no, that's right.
But there's nothing like wrong with that.
Y más allá.
They're still good.
El infinito y más allá, and then the song in Spanish.
Where?
Those songs were good, actually. They get stuck in my head.
You got a friend in me.
Well, I was going to answer his question. Was End of Days any good? So End of Days, that's a movie that grew on me over time. The first time I watched it, I wasn't super crazy about it. And that might just be because of how it ended. But looking back on it now and rewatching it, I felt like the ending was proper. So I like it more than I did initially.
I thought it sucked.
You thought it sucked?
Yeah.
Really? Why was that? Tell us why.
Well, I've seen it once, but
okay,
like years ago. But I just, it didn't speak to me at all. It just seemed a bit generic.
Yeah, it wasn't. Oh, it wasn't super spectacular. I mean, it's not like my favorite Arnold movie or anything.
But also, I'm not really. I don't know. Sometimes I'm not really into like things where the devil comes to, comes to the earth. But I don't know. I guess it just depends on the story. Like most of those cult movies, either end really bad or just really messed up. I'm like, not my favorite.
Yeah.
I was gonna.
I thought there was a touch of adult humor in the first Toy Story as well.
There might have been.
I don't even remember. It's having sort of two jokes or jokes working
double
at two different levels.
Yeah. Man on the Moon. Oh wow. Okay, that's right. I forgot that was from '99.
I thought Jim Carrey did pretty good acting in that.
He's a good actor, actually.
That was the movie that made me think like, he can act. That movie, it was a little, I don't know, too. I saw it and I don't know. I don't know know enough about Kaufman, I guess.
So numero cuatro.
I don't know if I'd ever even heard of him, honestly, before that movie came out.
Numero cuatro.
Sorry, go ahead, Arturo.
The Matrix.
Best movie of the year.
That was a big deal.
It was. I think your brothers went to go see that one.
That was the movie Star Wars wanted to be. That was the movie in '99 that Star Wars was in '77. And then when when Phantom Menace came out, they're like, Star Wars is back. They're like, no, The Matrix is out now.
Yeah.
No one cares about Phantom Menace. The Matrix, because it did the same thing where it's like, this is the new cutting edge special effects that everyone can imitate afterwards. And oh man, it's so good.
I've only seen that movie once. I think my favorite scene is probably when they're going in the place and they're just shooting up the guards.
Guns.
Yeah.
I think that's the scene that's on the Blu-ray on the menu. You know how they'll loop scenes from the movie on the menu. I think that's the scene they loop when they come in that place in the building.
Sounds right. Yeah,
it's really cool. It's very cool. I enjoy that film, but for some reason, I'm just not hooked into it like so many people are. So I'm not super thrilled about the upcoming
Matrix 4
movie.
I like the
movie.
I guess you could say you like the movie, but you're not like a big fan.
No, I'm not. I never finished the second movie and never saw the third one. And when I saw the trailer for the fourth one, because I've seen it in the theater, he just looks like John Wick. I'm sorry, I can't. It just okay. You just look like John Wick playing in the Matrix. That's it. I've seen Constantine once. I don't remember what year that came out. I feel like I need to rewatch that.
I love The Matrix because, for so many reasons. One thing I should say, I don't love it because one thing that's cool about it, I think, is that how it's kind of become like a cultural I don't know what word it is, but like
Reference.
yeah, like reference.
Mhm.
People are like, we're in the Matrix, dude, or people talk about taking
The
the
red pill and the blue pill.
and
Yeah.
stuff, which I don't
Glitch in
even
the
know
Matrix.
what that is stuff is going on, but like I just sorry, what did you say, Simon?
Yeah. It was.
Oh, a glitch in the Matrix. Another
A
one.
glitch in the Matrix. Yeah, there's a lot of stuff, but even just the general term of this is the like not a lot of movies can create like an idea in the culture or something, or kind of like create a term for an idea in the culture or whatever it is, and also deliver like crazy cool visual entertainment with guns and action. And I just feel like the Matrix did it. Like they pulled off delivering a really, shallow, just pure visual entertainment, while also, with trench coats and guns and shades and shit, but also having like a really deep philosophical
Yeah.
idea and original story underneath it. And I just think it was a home run. It's something that everyone wishes they could do what the Matrix did. And very few pull it off.
It definitely has had a long-lasting cultural impact, and like we were talking about, well, you hear red pill and blue pill. That has expanded so much to apply to so many different things.
Yeah.
But,
I blame the Matrix for the collapse of society because it came out just as the internet, or just before the mainstream internet took off, and it made the internet seem like a cool place. And now we're stuck with everyone on Twitter.
I think the internet is good. Too much
the
for
social media, it's this double-edged sword, I love it, and yet at the same time I feel like it's been responsible for so many problems. Oh my gosh, what a mess. Oh yeah, so the Blair Witch Project, is that even on the top 10, Arturo?
No,
it's not. That surprises me, actually. Yeah, well, when I went to go see Halloween Kills, someone brought a baby younger than that in with him, and he started giggling hysterically during one portion of the movie at a very inappropriate moment. He wasn't laughing at the movie, but it was kind of hard to get into what was happening because this little baby was laughing over here.
That sucks, yeah.
I know.
Number 5 is Tarzan. From what I remember, I've seen some of it. I don't know if I've watched it from beginning to end.
That felt kind of like a meh sort of
movie.
I've only seen it once.
I remember it had good animation. Animation.
And decent voice acting, but
oh yeah.
Glenn, this is a theme that comes up a lot in not movies, books that I work on, lit RPG books, and they're called NPC.
Yeah,
but it's not an NPC. It's a person who has uploaded their subconscious or their memories into a player permanently after they've died, and I thought they were called an RPC. I can't remember, but this is certainly something that's been kind of embedded in different genres.
Yeah.
Oh, 2005. Okay.
Yeah, people are trying to do that shit in real life. Like Elon Musk and
they've talked. I don't see how that's something that would ever be possible.
Oops. Probably not until like 300 years or something.
Oh no, Neuralink. That shit's going down in the next 10 or 20 years. With Neuralink. And if Elon Musk and we don't figure it out, China will. And I'm literally like within 20 years, humans will be cyborg. Like I'm getting a little, but
there's definitely been talk of that happening. I just don't see how.
I know in Psychopaths, the anime, where this guy, he's like maybe who knows how old, but they just kind of like they put his like I don't know, maybe his brain inside some sort of artificial like humanoid like android. He's probably like maybe 100-something years old in the show, but can you imagine that, just taking out your brain and putting it in a cyborg, and you still have the memories of when you were in your body? That's weird. Like I could see that
sort of
happening.
The premise of Altered Carbon. Have you guys seen that,
Yeah.
Simon and Colin?
The Netflix show.
Yeah. I actually really liked that first season. It was so good.
Really?
Yeah. But I don't think I even got past the first episode of the second season. Just
Number 6 is The Mummy. I really did like that one. That one
that's
was
a fun
cool.
movie.
It was a
Mhm.
fun movie.
It was like
Yep.
Indiana Jones.
I'm sorry, Simon. You tired?
Oh no, it's fine. I actually took a nap, so I'm still kind of waking up.
Oh, you're still trying to wake up. You need some
Yep.
coffee? Here, I'll send you some.
Yeah.
Get
I
a
got
cup
some.
of coffee, Simon. Do it now.
Simon, did you like The Matrix? You said you thought it was the end of the civilization. Or so I don't know how you put it. The apocalypse.
Oh yeah, I love the movie, but yeah, I just think
It's more of a sign of the times, maybe.
yeah, it kind of.
But I think that's just
If I
happening.
have trouble with words right now.
So
Go ahead, sorry.
the words. I was
Yeah,
just gonna say that shit's coming whether the Matrix happened or not. But that's what I mean. It's like sign of the times. Like people are like, yeah, this shit's cool. When it's like we don't know what this shit is. Like technology and shit.
Right.
Like jumping in head first. Like the internet had no training period or like testing period. You know, they're just like, let's let it out and let's just let it be developed and run by a bunch of people who want to get rich. And it's like that hasn't turned out very well. But we'll see how it goes.
I know that movie you're talking about, Chris, but I don't remember the title of
Johnny
it.
Mnemonic.
No,
Oh,
that's got
There's one
Johnny
that-
Mnemonic has
the
Keanu
one with the-
Reeves.
That's more like
oh, Johnny
20
Depp. Transcendence.
That's it.
Transcendence,
Was
yeah.
that from 10 years ago? No.
No,
Feels like it was soon. 5 or 6?
5 or 10.
2013 or so.
Okay. I saw it in passing. But it made me think of the
2014.
things like the books. 2014. Okay.
I
Yeah.
watched The Mummy a lot too. I mean,
That was fun.
Yeah, I like that.
Kind of like
It's
sort
got
of,
some comedic, like mixture of adventure, horror, comedic,
yeah,
Brendan Fraser's awesome.
kind of established
historical,
him as an action, as an action
historical
type.
events too.
Yeah.
That was a big hit in our family, like a family film that our house we watched a lot.
Yeah, that was. I like the open, like right after they jumped to 23. I like that whole opening scene where they're fighting.
Mhm.
That set the stage.
Yeah, it's a fun film. I remember when it was in theaters, and I remember thinking, man, I really would love to go see that on the big screen. And I never did.
Well, why didn't you?
I just
Because
didn't.
of you, Arturo. It's all your fault.
No, I think it was my sister's fault. I'm sorry.
That's the year she was born.
Ah.
No, I don't know. They shoved Fraser out for the wrong. You're right, I know. But he didn't show up
So the
Until-
second one.
second movie. Yeah. Oh, and that was some terrible animation. Oh, that was so bad. Yeah, 7 years old. Yes. Okay, Chris. Demolition Man. That's a fun movie. Arturo watched that a couple months ago.
That was the
I did too,
93 one.
I checked it out this summer for the first time. That was fun.
Yeah, I had forgotten how relevant it felt.
I was like,
today.
I keep saying it. I was expecting to go in and it was going to be gritty, and then it turned out to be that. I'm like, oh, okay.
Comedic. Yeah.
All right. So
number 7.
Yeah, Notting
Never
Hill.
saw
I
that.
did not know what that's
No,
about.
Notting Hill.
Notting Hill. Okay, I don't know. what it's about.
romantic comedy.
Yeah,
Haven't
Julia
seen it.
Roberts and who was it? Was it Hugh Grant in there or somebody else?
Haven't you
Yeah.
watched
Sounds
it?
right.
No, I never watched it. I'm not crazy about her, so, and I'm not crazy about romantic comedy, so I just
Yeah,
nope,
I'm
pass.
just not interested in those types.
I know you're not.
It depends on the story, though. If it's like, well, not more of comedy, just more like, I guess, adventure.
Right.
and all that.
I get your point, Glenn. Sorry, I'm getting distracted by the comments.
I know
Right.
you are. You always get distracted by the comments.
I would be helpless without a
yeah.
computer because my job depends on a computer. Plus, that's my connection with other people in a lot of ways.
Number
The internet.
8 is
I don't have a smart.
Oh,
I do.
Okay.
I do have one, but I still prefer my computer. I'm not crazy about, I like the convenience of texting. Oh, did you know what I did? Just last night while I was at the clinic,
What?
I put an app on my on my computer that mirrors my phone. So I can use my phone from my computer, like to send text messages. And I've got a full ass keyboard I can type on, not that little stupid dinky keyboard on the on the phone that I'm always making mistakes. I don't like texting. Not
I mean,
fun.
I look at the internet every day. You know, I watch Netflix and YouTube, but I don't know what people are doing on their phones all the time. Like if I had
Social media.
I guess so. It's just so boring to me.
Everybody
It
is
is.
usually on their phones a lot.
But everybody's on their phones. Like when I would go to pick up like my niece at school at elementary, and like you're standing in line with all the parents, and all these
Yeah.
people older than me, like 40s, 50s, 60s, like just staring at. I'm like, what is everyone so interested by? Like I'm
Well-
never like, oh, what can I look at on the internet today? Like I spend 10 minutes in the morning. Like, okay, check that. Okay, I'm good. I'm done with the internet today.
Yeah, yeah.
Unless I wanna
Well,
watch YouTube. Like,
The thing is, I mean, it's helpful, especially when you're waiting in line at the DMV,
yeah.
Entertain yourself while you're waiting for hours.
because
at
that
the
is
DMV.
all we
Yeah.
we had, or at least I had to do. Because what can you do? We're waiting for who knows how long. They're so slow. So it's good. It's good to have a phone with you and just.
My
look at-
dad is on his phone more than I am, which is funny.
Yeah.
It's really funny. He's
No, at work
constantly-
though, I'm barely on my phone unless I want to show people something. But boy, I sometimes I had like a coworker that would just be glued to his phone when he could have been like working, and so that kind of is also a problem.
It's
Yeah.
true, Glenn. It's definitely not something you can. I mean, you can do it, but it's not easy to do. And I feel sorry for some people that just have not transitioned, and the frustration that they have when they want to be able to do things the old way, and it's not quite so easy.
Oh yeah. That happens. We do that.
So number 8 is The World Is Not Enough with it, which I think is a James Bond movie.
Mhm.
Well, that was a forgettable James Bond movie.
You know, a lot of his movies, a lot of his were, except for maybe what was it?
GoldenEye.
Goldeneye.
Yeah, I think so too. Goldeneye, I really like Goldeneye. And then the rest, like, I kind of forgot about.
Yeah, I don't even remember all the ones he was in. How many was it? 3 or 4?
I think it was 4. I think the one with Halle Berry was the last one. Die Another Day.
Die Another Day. That's the one. That one was. Okay, and I get the titles mixed up. I don't even remember who was in what.
Tomorrow
I remember
Never Dies and
Goldeneye,
all
the people
that.
that were in Goldeneye, but I forgot. I think at one point Terry Hatcher was in one of them. Denise Richards was.
She was in this one, I think.
Played a scientist, yeah.
Okay, yeah, okay. I remember I've mentioned this before, I think in a live stream, about how there was all this expectation about Pierce Brosnan. I remember in the 80s
Right.
because he was hot at the time, you know?
Yeah.
And it was like, oh, he's going to be the next Bond. And it didn't work out because he was involved in Remington Steele and he couldn't get out of it. And so they went with Timothy Dalton, not my brother, the other Timothy Dalton. They went with Timothy Dalton. And
Your brother's name's Timothy Dalton?
yeah, Timothy Dalton. Yeah,
Oh, cool. Wow.
yeah.
We could be related. Who
007.
knows?
Yeah, well, we
Who knows?
might be actually because that line came from England. So, but anyway, I have no idea. Timothy's a very popular name in the Dalton family lineage, I've discovered. But when Pierce finally showed up, I was not blown away by his entries. He just didn't. He didn't knock my socks off or anything.
So I
It just
guess
wasn't.
So, what is your favorite like James Bond like the actor that played James Bond in a specific series of James Bond movies? Because
Probably Sean Connery.
Sean Connery.
Probably him.
Yeah.
A lot of people love Daniel Craig. He doesn't. He's not really my favorite. Although Skyfall is my favorite Bond movie,
Mm-hmm.
which is weird.
I did. That's like the only one I watched out of his movies. Just Skyfall.
I love that movie. What,
It's
Colin?
Casino Royale is awesome, I think.
A lot of people like that. I'm not crazy about that.
Oh, I love that.
You know, I think part of it is I didn't like the way he was portraying Bond. He just seemed so clingy and ridiculous, and that wasn't the Bond I was used to, because he
Right.
like had this hang up for this girl, and I didn't like the girl, And I was just like, I was very removed from all of that. Oh, can you answer it and tell him I'm on a live
I
stream?
really like Daniel
Oh my
Craig.
God.
Just
Sin
felt
is technically a Bond girl.
too edgy.
No, not really. What was I was getting ready to say something. Oh, but I remember, boy, that torture scene in Casino Royale.
Yeah. Oh.
Oh,
Yeah. The chair and the rope.
oh yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, that was painful to watch, and I'm not even a guy, but still, that was awful.
I would one of those, and I would lose consciousness. Like bam. Like I wouldn't be able to stay awake for more than one of those. I don't think.
Right. It was bad. The opening action sequence was pretty cool, though.
That's my the
Casino
parkour, phenomenal.
Yeah, it was really cool.
I really like the poker scene. I just felt like that was a cool non-action scene with a lot of tension, and just felt real like classic, like upper class. And I don't know. I really like that. I just like the movie overall. But I don't. Daniel Craig. It's just like he didn't seem charming to me. Like he felt like he was always kind of angry. And even when he was smiling, that was part of his character. Where I felt like even Pierce Brosnan, especially like Sean Connery, they had this like they were charming guys. They couldn't help
Suave,
it. They were likable people. And Daniel Craig didn't feel that way to me.
I mean, he's a good actor. I guess maybe he's not everybody's favorite Bond, but I don't know. A lot of people like him.
People went crazy over the fact that he had a very nice physique. I remember that. And he was probably out of all the Bond guys, all the Bonds, he was like the most in shape.
Oh, yeah.
That was a big deal. I remember that was a big deal.
He was also in Young Indiana Jones in one of those episodes from the 90s. He was very young. He played a German.
Oh, wow. Oh, okay.
German.
I didn't know that.
Nine.
Of course you would remember that because it would be about like the World War One or whatever. Yeah.
But I remember watching one of the scenes and he's like trying to speak German, like with an accent. And then, in Knives Out,
I liked him in Knives Out.
Southerner,
Yeah.
And something about the donut holes and the donut holes of a donut hole or something.
Knives Out was a really fun film.
I really want to see that movie. I'm still having.
Oh, it's so much fun. It's pretty well written and it's the ensemble cast.
It's Rian Johnson that did it. Like, how is it
that
he was able to wreck Star Wars, but come back with this movie? Like, what?
Right.
I know, right?
It's
a lot of people do, Chris.
It sounds so good because he did it, but everyone says it's good. It looks really good. We canceled our Netflix by mail, so it's harder to see all the movies. If I miss a movie, we used to just get it all in the net. They'd mail it to you, but now it's, I don't know, you got to stream. You have access to all the streaming sites or whatever.
Yeah.
I don't like renting stuff. Whatever. Anyways.
Number 9 is American Beauty, which I did not. Okay. Black comedy drama. Haven't seen it. Don't know.
Well, Simon tried to set the tone for this live stream by referencing.
Go right ahead, Simon. Take the floor.
God, again, it's been like 20 years since I saw that movie, so someone else take over. I'm still waking up.
Yeah.
No, I don't think I ever watched it.
I think I watched it the year it came out, or 2000. And I was like 15. I was like, oh, this movie's deep, yeah. And then I was 15. I've never wanted to watch it again. It felt like it was trying to be deep, and I don't know.
So the premise was he had the hots for like some young girl, right?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And I thought spoiler alert, I thought his character gets killed in the end.
I think so.
But I don't remember how. Okay.
Like his neighbor is, something about his neighbor is gay, secretly gay.
No, his neighbor thinks he's gay, if I remember correctly.
Okay.
And shoots him.
And he shoots him over.
Oh, he shoots him because he thinks he's gay?
Something like that.
That's why he shoots him?
Something like that.
And like an old dude, what's his name? The famous actor played this guy, and it was either he was like, that dude's gay, and he shot him. And it was like a deep movie, and there's all this deep, like, meaningful monologues in it, and I think it's probably skippable. I don't think no one needs to suffer through that nonsense.
Yeah, I'm not super interested. I liked I liked the Bond film that Dalton was in. That's my favorite was License to Kill. He was only in 2 though.
Well, you know what they call Bond movies with Pierce Brosnan in it? Casino
What?
Royale with cheese.
Oh God. Sorry, I'm
But
getting
yeah,
distracted.
Sam Mendes directed American Beauty. He also directed 2 Bond movies, Spectre and Skyfall.
That's right.
Didn't he also direct 1917?
He did.
That's right. 'Cause
Ah.
remember, wasn't American Beauty kind of like the movie that broke it,
Mhm.
made him big? I think.
I didn't realize that
It
was
was his
him,
first movie as a director.
and I guess I completely forgot that he had directed Skyfall, and
Yeah.
and also Casino
He's a
Royale.
pretty
I
good
don't
director.
always pay attention to director names until they make an impact on me.
Or not Casino Royale, Spectre. Skyfall. Someone else did Casino Royale.
Oh, someone else
Yeah.
did Casino. Oh, did you say Spectre? Sorry, Simon, if I misheard you.
Another Kevin Spacey flick that
Mhm.
ran the next.
I never saw Varsity Blues. Was that 99 as well? Jeez.
James Bond.
Number 10 is Austin Powers, the spy who
Lord.
shagged, shagged me. I
Fat,
have never seen. I have never seen any of those
you
films.
fat bastard, get in my belly. Oh, such a good movie. I remember, honestly, I still have this memory of being in the theater with my friends. I'm like in the theater as that movie's starting, and it hit me like, oh my God, a whole new Austin Powers movie. I'm so excited. Like that moment when the movie's starting and you realize like you're so happy. Like, yes, I get a whole movie. Like, I don't know, the previews, you kind of forget what's going on, and then it starts. And I just remember of all the movies I saw that year, that was one of the most exciting. I remember that's what it was. It was like the Star Wars movie I had seen like 2 weeks before or something. And then I saw Austin Powers, and I remember it hit me like, I'm more excited about this than I was for Star Wars.
The Star Wars, yeah.
I was excited for Star Wars, but with Austin Powers, I was like, I know I'm gonna love this, and I did. And I mean, I was 14, and yeah, that age was kind of
That humor, yeah.
Yeah.
This was were there only 2, and this was the
There's
second one.
Third one,
There's
Member with Beyonce was the third.
Oh, okay,
Final.
okay.
Final.
I've never seen any
They
of
should
those movies. I just see them as like references to stuff on YouTube.
They should remake Austin Powers with Michael Myers.
Yeah, they did.
Oh,
Evil dies
that would be
tonight,
nice.
baby.
Oh, geez, Evil never dies. I swear. Oh, my gosh.
Or I thought Evil dies
My-
tonight.
Oh, yeah, that's right. He did. He passed on Gandalf, and he passed on something
be
else.
He
He passed on something else. Dang it, can't remember what it was. And so then he regretted that he passed on those, and then he took
The League of Extraordinary Gentlemen.
yeah, and then that was the last one.
Yeah.
That's the last one he did.
It's like, fuck this, I'm out.
Yeah,
I was Bond.
Sean Connery. Jeez, whatever.
So we're out of the box office, but have you ever heard of Virus? It has Jamie Lee Curtis.
Yes, it's terrible.
No wonder I haven't heard of it.
No, it wasn't good.
It's bad.
It wasn't. So I watched a movie with Arturo a week or so ago that I'd never seen, but a lot of people really like it.
Oh,
And it's
yeah.
Galaxy Quest. Never
That's
seen
funny,
it.
yeah. It's a good one.
That was funny.
Yeah.
That one guy that got hurt, and he was like
Mm-hmm.
screaming every time they moved him or picked him up.
Yeah,
You know?
but what kind of struck me as really fun, I don't know, I got a case of the giggles when towards the end of the film they'd been through so much, and Alan Rickman's
Wig.
like his hair,
Yeah.
makeup, or wig was all messed up. I don't know why that struck me funny.
Man. It's been too long. I need to rewatch that. I know my dad loves that. He has that one.
It's crazy.
It's actually not
It's
too,
crazy.
like the quality of the movie is not too bad for 99. I mean, maybe
It's the best
maybe,
Star Trek movie.
Yeah.
Let's see.
That's
something.
I remember
Oh,
people who did Screen Junkies did a sort of retrospective
Uh-huh.
kind of documentary on Galaxy Quest.
Yeah.
I can't remember the name of it though, off the top of my head. But
Eh.
I remember there was a story where Tim Allen had some sort of emotional reaction to one of the scenes. I think it was like one of the death scenes, and he sort of went, I have to regroup. I have to go to my trailer. And the other guy who played Snape, whose name escapes me,
Alan Rickman.
Alan
Mhm.
Rickman, just turned to someone and said, "It looks like he's experienced acting."
Oh, jeez. I
So-
love Alan Rickman. I was so bummed when he passed away. It was such a shocker.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, we had talked about the GoldenEye game in one of the previous live streams at some point when that came up. Yeah.
Big deal, GoldenEye.
Oh, I think I only saw that movie once.
Bandits.
Fight Club. I've never seen Fight Club. Colin, we never got around to it, like I mentioned.
God. Shame.
I actually have zero
Shame.
interest. I know, shame. I'm like, seriously, right? You're gonna yell at me.
So I kind of
I'm
remember
not
this
interested in
movie
Fight
because
Club.
my
Yeah,
my
it
dad
was.
used
It was 99.
my dad
Sorry,
used to watch, I think, this film, but the Wild Wild West with
Will Smith.
Will Smith
Smith.
I
and
don't know. I
Salma
think,
Hayek. Did he?
I think Will
I
Smith,
used to.
that was the one where he lost me. He lost a lot of people on that one.
the Wild Wild
Yeah,
West.
it wasn't.
It was
wasn't.
big. It sold
great.
a lot because everyone thought it was going to be the best because it was Will Smith. But
Okay.
then a lot of people were like, I was like, it wasn't a bad movie. Like, it's entertaining, but it's not on the level of like Men in Black or Independence Day.
It's kind of weird. From
So
what I saw.
one of the biggest things that came from Wild Wild West was Enrique Iglesias jumping over into the English market with a song, Bailamos, let the rhythm take you over, Bailamos.
That was because of Wild.
Te
Okay, yeah.
quiero.
I
Yeah.
remember when he popped over.
And it was like, oh, Enrique, people are finally starting to notice him because I was listening to him since before then. So that was fun. But I remember that was, for whatever reason, that was like one of the big songs attached to that movie. I don't know why. Galaxy Quest, yeah.
And the
That
Wild
was
Wild,
fun.
Wicked Wild, Wicked Wild.
Yeah,
Wild.
yeah, that's right. I forgot about that. I forgot about that. That's funny.
That was almost
Never
big.
Surrender, a Galaxy Quest documentary is the name of that documentary. It's from 2019, if you're interested. You ever said that in the chat?
Never surrender. Oh, did you say you? Okay, hold on.
Or someone said.
I don't know. I think I stayed away from Galaxy Quest for so long because I knew it was comedic, and I didn't realize that it involved real aliens that came to Earth, and there was all this confusion and how they thought they were these real space people or whatever. It was just, it was funny. It was fun watching it.
Apparently, Patrick Stewart had to be dragged to the theater to see it because they thought it was just a piss take. But then when he actually saw the thing, he saw there was so much love
That's awesome.
in the thing that
Aw.
he ended up loving it.
Oh, that's funny.
He has a good sense of humor because I would guess because he's always on a Family Guy and American Dad.
Yeah.
Fight Club,
Yeah,
Fight Club could go on and on. I mean, again, that it almost, I don't know, I feel like I've read that it influenced cinema. And I don't know if I would piece that together on my own, but looking back, like, it does seem ahead of its time in how it was able to be, like, visually stylistic in a way that most movies weren't at that time. That, I don't know, I don't know how to explain it really, but it definitely has a lot of visual style, and it's a really cool, edgy story, and it has a really good twist at the end.
I know the twist. That's why I'm not interested.
Yeah, so
I'm like,
but it's not the twist isn't at all. It's one of those that, like, I watched that movie a bunch of times. Whereas The Sixth Sense, once I saw it once, I was like, okay, I maybe watched it again once.
yeah,
but
yeah.
Fight Club is like, it doesn't matter. The twist is cool if you don't see it coming. It's cool, but I think the movie's like almost just as good even when you know the twist.
Who directed that? Do you know?
what's it?
David Fincher.
Yeah, Fincher.
Oh, okay.
and yeah, it's probably his best movie, in my opinion. I mean, it's really good, and yeah,
But don't talk. Yeah, I know.
it's a great it's a great Brad Pitt role, probably the coolest Brad Pitt movie. Great Edward Norton, but it just has a lot of good style, and it just the storytelling moves fast, and it's kind of mysterious, and it's just really cool, and yeah, it's a great movie. Great movie.
I know a lot of people like it. It's highly regarded, but once I found out the twist, I was just like, meh.
Oh, you
It's
should
just,
see it. It's not about. It's not like The Sixth Sense in that. Oh, and then the twist is the reason you like this movie. It's just that it's the ride is the reason you like.
Yeah.
The movie. And yeah, it's.
Arturo has no clue what the twist is, so I won't say.
Arturo, you
in
should
case
watch
he ever gets around to
What? What
I
movie?
really think you should watch Fight Club.
Arturo,
Sorry, I was the new guy. I was texting him. He's trying to get on.
we were talking about Fight Club and the.
Oh
the twist.
yeah. Well, you did tell me there was some sort of twist, but I
didn't tell you what it was because if you want to see it, I didn't want to ruin it for you.
Yeah, don't tell him. You really should
No,
watch
I
Fight Club.
won't.
Yeah, I would put this Fight Club should be like on your top of the list
Yeah, very.
of important movies to watch. It's
The
really
pressure. Oh my gosh.
Mm-hmm.
I think Dan's referring to the documentary that you were talking about there, Simon.
Cool.
Sorry, I'm getting caught up on. Okay, so Sleepy Hollow.
Sleepy Hollow.
Oh yeah.
That's
I was
actually-
gonna talk about that.
That's
I
in
like-
my top 3. That
I
was
like
one
it,
of my
yeah.
top 3s.
I like that movie. That one was
It's a
fun.
good one.
It
It's
had
a-
a little bit of some cheesy moments because I think it's who directed it?
Burton.
Tim Burton.
Tim Burton. Yeah, like he kind of adds a little bit of that with his movies, but it was pretty dark. Like some of the gore and stuff. Like that was, I think, one of the times I've seen him kind of go a little violent.
It was pretty dark, but I liked it
atmosphere
because I thought Johnny Depp was hilarious in there. Just
Oh,
how
It's a perfect role for him, kind of. Like that's
was
the Johnny Depp role.
It was such a coward too. Like when he had the
and he
kid.
put those glasses things on and it made his eyes look all funny.
Yeah.
It cracked me
Yeah.
up. Trash
And then
Party,
Christopher
no, I have not,
Walken.
but I do want to see that. The Harder They Fall.
I think
I've
it was.
Heard it's good.
Oh,
You didn't like it? You saw
I
it?
had to stop watching it. It was bad.
Really? Oh
It
no.
was very amateur hour.
Oh no, that's
But-
a bummer.
It's not like it depends though. It depends. There's
Oh.
I was about 30 minutes in and there's this kind of big set piece scene and I was just like like that's just it ruined the movie for me.
Does this have Idris Elba in it, or am I confusing
Yeah, I
it with?
love Idris. I was so excited.
It's-
I heard it was good. Idris Elba, Regina King. I was set to really love this movie.
Yeah.
I wanted to love it, and I thought it was going to be good. But no, it really dropped the ball for me. I would skip it.
Oh, that sucks. Because I was interested in it. I just hadn't gotten around to it. I think it was in the theater, Arturo, for a little bit.
Wait,
It might
what?
still be. The Harder They Fall. New movie that went to. It's coming to Netflix, but it went to
on Netflix.
theaters first.
It's already
Yeah.
on Netflix. Yeah.
Oh, it's already, yeah. So it might be out of theaters now. Like Red Notice did the same thing. Enjoyed Sleepy Hollow.
but don't think I've seen it since the theater. Huh?
It was fun. I think I like the atmosphere, and I just
Yeah,
like
it's
the
just
creepy
creepy.
vibes of it.
And also the
And-
Headless Horseman too.
He
No
was
head.
well done because he
But,
was gross.
You know, I remember when you actually were watching it one time at our aunt's place. I remember I was I was little, okay? The one thing that kind of that bothered me when he came in the room where the wife was and he's holding the husband's head.
Oh, the
that-
Headless Horseman. Yeah.
Yeah, that bothered me,
Freaked
but
you
I
out.
was a kid. So
You were young.
I had
Yes.
no idea what you guys were watching. I just know this thing had no head and he killed someone holding his head.
Let's see.
It's we haven't even finished the show Sleepy Hollow at all.
No, we're so behind on that. It's not even funny. I
Mhm.
kind of lost interest in it after a while. The first season was really good. I really liked it, but then
I
it just
First episode was cool.
Just screwed up. Okay, sorry. I almost lost it.
what
My computer didn't update, and then I lost the screen. I was like, I don't know where you guys went. I might have to
Oh,
restart the computer. 'cause
sometimes
Um,
it does glitchy stuff.
Then there's
What,
the Blair
Shatner's
Witch
interview?
Goddamn
Project.
stoners.
There's the Blair
What,
Witch
what's
Project.
that, Simon?
Nothing.
Oh.
Yeah.
There's the Blair Witch Project.
Okay, are you
which,
the Blair Witch Project?
I have never seen. I'm not entirely interested because I'm not really into those type of movies where it's a camera.
That was one that, man, it was so much hype, and then I saw it and I wanted to like it, and I was like,
Mm-hmm.
God,
I want to like it, but I don't
that
like it.
great. It was like I was getting annoyed at the people. That was my biggest takeaway. Was like, these people are annoying. Like,
Doing dumb shit.
there were a few scary moments. Overall, there were a few scary moments, and I really like how it ended. That was the scariest part for me. I was like, oh, it's getting good now. I'm like, oh, this is kind of
And it's done.
scary. And then it was done.
Na, na, na,
Wasn't
na.
worthless or terrible, but yeah, I feel like my biggest takeaway from that was like an hour spent with some annoying people I wouldn't want to go camping with.
I felt like it was overrated personally, and I'm also not a fan of, found footage or home video style movies.
I actually really like it. I do.
See that it's pretty rare. There's been like maybe one or two that I've liked okay, but for that one it just wasn't. But interesting piece of trivia about that, I think I mentioned it on one of the live streams before, that so up until Blair Witch Project, Halloween 1978 was the I think it was like the highest grossing indie horror movie ever until Blair Witch came out. Because I remember that made a big splash because there was the way they marketed it was they made people think it was real.
Right.
People thought it was based on a true story.
Yeah.
So, but by the time I saw it, I already knew that it wasn't. So it just,
Yeah.
It's weird for me to get into like this. Is why I don't like the Paranormal Activity series, because it's kind of, okay, so this is weird, y'all, but so I know movies are fiction, right?
Mm-hmm.
I know they're acting, but for some reason I can get into it more to see a professional, polished type of film than people pretending that it's real on a home video style film.
Interesting.
If that makes sense. I don't know.
Yeah.
Just like, I just can't.
It makes sense. It's weird. I am weirdly the opposite, where like to me, I feel like I'm the normal. I'm who they're marketing to. Sorry, not the normal, but I'm who they're marketing to, which is like
Turo.
I feel like that's really, it makes it more authentic to me. Almost.
You know,
I don't know how to say it, but like.
No, I get it, and people. All right, Arthur. Here we go with the Lonely Man. Okay. They're very popular because they're cheap to make. And a lot of people do like that style because probably it does feel more authentic to them.
Like, okay,
I've never seen that interview.
Was the one of the rarest exceptions you were saying? Record, the Italian or the Spanish, with the zombies, REC.
Oh yeah. That was originally.
That was one of the better versions of that type of movie. I feel like. Did you see that one, the original?
I have seen both the original and the remake, and wasn't super crazy about either one of them.
Really? All right.
Yeah, well, but I know they're very popular. Yeah.
I don't know if I could think of many better. So that was effective for me.
I know, right, Chris?
Like horror. I can't think of horror movies I like. I really liked the original REC movie. So yeah, just different. Everyone.
Yeah, I mean,
I didn't know that Halloween was indie though. That was that.
You know what's funny?
It was indie. Mm-hmm.
Because
the people that made Fatal Frame did the exact same thing that Blair Witch Project did, based on a true story, sort of deal, just to make people buy it. It's a tactic.
Sorry, I'm trying to catch up with the. Oh yeah, Lake Placid. I was going to mention Lake Placid. Have you guys seen that?
Oliver Platt, yeah.
Oh yeah, that's right, and Bridget Fonda, but I forget who else was in there.
Nice. Wow, they really like
there's also Universal Soldier Returns.
Ichabod.
Haven't even watched that. That's funny, Joe. Yeah, I didn't. I like the. Yeah, I didn't even.
I think I might have told this story before, but the first time I watched Blair Witch was with my girlfriend and roommate, and it was Halloween night, 1999.
Yeah.
And afterwards, they had the bright idea. I had the flu, and I didn't want to do anything. They had the bright idea to grab a cab and go to the woods.
Oh,
And they dragged me along with me.
Oh,
Uh-oh.
you were
The
you had the
thrills.
flu.
Yeah, so they're dragging me through the thing. And eventually we're like, you know what, this was a bad idea. Let's turn back. So we turned back, and I almost taken a wrong turning.
Mm.
My roommate was walking in front of us,
Mm.
and the flashlight just panned over to like an abandoned cottage,
Oh,
which we hadn't passed on our way up.
Ah,
And I've never seen anyone. He just deflated. It was like a. I just kind of shrunk into himself.
nice.
That was the funniest thing I've ever seen. But yeah, that's
Okay,
my story.
Good.
Did you end up infecting them with the flu because they dragged you out?
No, it
No.
was. I was just bitched and moaned the whole way through.
Well.
Plus, I was an atheist by then and didn't believe in any of that stuff. So I was just
No.
like, oh god, okay, do it for my girlfriend because want to get laid.
Because got to, right? Oh, God.
Oh man.
Here we go again. Here we go.
I'll do it for my roommate as well. Same reason. No, I'm kidding.
Have either of you guys seen The Green Mile?
Yes,
Nope.
great movie.
Haven't
I
seen
actually never watched it.
You haven't seen it?
it. I know I'm such a disappointment, right?
Wow.
I tend
Wow.
to avoid
And you
series.
say I'm a disappointment when I don't see movies.
It's
Wow.
weird. Some movies that are super popular, I just don't latch onto them. I think what happened is here's the thing. It's a jail movie.
Yeah,
I
I'm
don't
with
like
you.
jail movies.
And I don't like jail movies. I don't like
So-
heavy dramas. So
Yeah. So I just wasn't. And then I found out, basically I did read the spoiler. Because like if there's a movie that's making waves, but I don't necessarily want to take the time to watch it, I'll go like the movie pooper or the movie spoiler site and read what it's about just to find out. And I think it was during the course of that I discovered it was based on a Stephen King book or short story or something.
Yeah,
Which
it's
was-
one of the
which
Frank
is interesting.
Darabont adaptations of Stephen King alongside The Mist and Shawshank Redemption.
Oh, okay.
But yeah, they're extremely good movies. The Green
I've
Mile
seen
isn't so
Shawshank.
much a prison movie. It's not like Shawshank. It's more about. It's more mystical and more. Yeah, I just don't want to give so much away with it. Just
Wait.
watch it.
Is that the one with
I
Tom
know
Hanks?
It
Tom
is, yeah.
Hanks and Michael
He's
Clark Duncan.
yeah. He's a cop.
But I don't
or
remember
he's a
who
guard
else.
in the prison, I believe.
Yeah. Oh, Blair Witch was filmed. Okay, filmed in Maryland. All right.
Maryland.
Yeah, a lot of people really like Green Mile. Plus, I found out how it ended, so I was like, I'll pass.
So Scooby-Doo and the Witch's Ghost.
Oh Lord, is that 20 years old? No, I remember that kind of started that style. That it feels like Blair Witch set off all of these things like, Paranormal Activity, and what was that other one with the alien? Oh geez.
Cloverfield.
Starts with a C. Yeah, Cloverfield. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, a lot of Fight Club fans. I know. Then everyone and their uncle decided to yeah. That's true. That ended up happening.
So you're like, I didn't like 99 that much, and then you're also like, oh, I didn't see Fight Club. I didn't see The Green Mile. I didn't see all the best fucking movies from that year.
But look,
Here's the thing about it.
but I'm not
Why do they
interested
say-
in those movies.
Why do they
So
say
that's why I
Princess
just-
Mononoke is 99? It was 97.
Yeah, I love the original Universal Soldier. It's one of my favorite Van Damme movies.
Maybe
Unless-
the dub.
Unless I think, yeah, I was gonna. Maybe it's the dub.
So you know what? We talked about Lock, Stock for 98,
oh yeah, I was
but it's
gonna bring that-
also listed.
Wait. Oh
for
yeah.
99.
Like I thought it was 98.
It's listed in both. So
I had a couple movies pop
I
up.
guess it came out.
Yeah.
Yeah, and there was
Oh.
another one that did that too. So I was going to cheat and watch Lock, Stock for 99, but
Did
then
you?
I felt bad. No, I didn't, because I was like, yeah, but it's not really officially. It's supposed to officially be 98.
98.
I do want to see that movie though, because
The Bone Collector we saw. That was good.
yeah, we did watch the Bone Collector.
That was good.
Oh, Denzel.
Yeah, Denzel and
That was
Angelina
fun.
Jolie.
That's a good series of books too. I like those books. It's an interesting premise that the protagonist is quadriplegic.
We'll watch Green Mile sometime, maybe. Oh, 189 minutes. Damn.
Wait, the Pokemon
How long it
movie
is?
came out in '99. I thought it was okay. Maybe it was the dub.
So Lock, Stock was released in the UK in '98 in August,
Okay, so it's the U.S.
and then in the
99,
US in limited release on the 5th of March '99.
right? Okay, I figured it probably had something to do with that. So it's officially a '98 movie then.
Yeah.
So okay. A lot of people love Shawshank. That's my brother Timothy's. No, Princess Bride is my brother Timothy's favorite movie, but he really loves Shawshank
Princess
Redemption.
Bride. That's a classic. Can't go.
That's a crazy movie. Sixth Sense, yeah, from '99. Yep. End of day. Oh, okay. Well, let me know what you think about it. It's been a while since I've seen. I know.
Fight Club. It's the Green Mile.
Someone's like peer pressure. I've also never seen The Green Mile. It just escaped me for whatever reason. I'm trying to remember if my folks
Oh,
watched
so
it.
Norman
And-
Reedus was actually in 2
Yeah, I know.
movies.
That's what they were saying.
I might have to. Hearing that it's not such a jail movie and there's a little bit of a mystical element, it kind of makes me curious.
Oh, that's weird.
I'll
So
watch it, yeah.
So,
the Boondock Saints. So it was released in Denmark of '99, but it came out. Or wait. No, maybe it was Denmark that it came out in 2000. Okay, never mind.
yeah, it came out here in '99.
That was a funny movie.
That was
That was actually the first time I've seen that movie.
fun movie.
Yeah,
I forgot how much fun it was until I
like,
rewatched it with you.
Your brother mentioned it before, like how he liked Norman Reedus in that. Then I guess probably The Walking Dead, The Boondock
Yeah,
Saints.
Boondock Saints is a really good movie. It's
It
been a
was
while
fun.
since I've seen it.
I didn't realize that Billy Connolly had played in there. I'd seen it years ago, and I remember Willem Dafoe was in there, and I just remember he played like this really wonky character.
Yeah, FBI
And I couldn't
guy.
remember if he was a good guy character or if he was like a bad guy character. I couldn't remember. I just remember he was crazy in there. And so then we rewatched it, and it was just it's so much fun. And Billy Connolly isn't in there very long, but I didn't realize at the time who he was until I started watching Billy Connolly comedy bits, and then people said that he was in that film. And so then,
Wait,
of course,
was
when
he
I
the
rewatched
friend?
it,
Yeah,
The
I didn't
father.
even know who he was when I
The
saw it.
the father. Yeah.
That's cool.
Yeah. So I haven't seen the second movie. Have you guys?
I never
Seen
saw
it?
it.
Did you see it, Simon?
Nope.
Okay.
But it.
Well, I'm
yeah,
interested to watch it
it's fun.
after
I mean,
rewatching the first one.
the whole part where they were fighting in the vent,
Yeah.
and then they break the vent.
Oh, that was one of the funniest scenes. They're fighting like
It had something to
like
do with the
brothers
rope.
do.
It had something to do with the rope.
Yeah. Why do I have a
And-
feeling you people don't you enjoy them anyway? Well, we do. We like lots
We
of movies.
do.
Yeah, 8mm. I'm not crazy about that. Joaquin
I
was
liked
good in
it.
there though.
Well,
Really,
again,
it was so dark.
it was dark. I like dark movies.
Wasn't there like a bad twist or something? I don't know.
I
It's
can't
like
remember the twist.
kind of thinking it won't be dark. I'm like, it's just gonna be a Nicolas Cage action movie. And I'm
Like a
oh,
detective
that's
sort of. Yeah.
fucked up. Like
was
I remember. Yeah, I liked it.
I like Stir of Echoes. I personally think it's very good. It's based on a book. I ended up listening to the book years after I saw the movie, and I felt like the movie was actually better.
Is it that's
the book?
Kevin Bacon ghost movie?
Yes. Arturo watched that.
Yeah.
Oh
this,
yeah, that came out this year. I forgot. Yeah, that one was pretty good.
Yep. It was good.
The funny part was whenever like he was like
Oh,
what was he? He was using that thing to break the floor. You hear him screaming, and then the guy outside can hear him.
he was. What was that thing? A jackhammer. I think that's what it was.
Yeah,
To break up the concrete.
basically a Sixth Sense movie, sort of. Except they.
Kind of.
Where'd you? Well, I thought Sixth Sense is where you could see dead people.
I mean, it's a ghost movie. Yeah, he could see dead people, but that was because his sister-in-law had what had she done? Hypnotized him or something and opened him up to receive the spirits and things. And so then that's when he started seeing ghosts. Okay, so
Well,
now
even
you
the
let me
sun.
know that the harder they fall is going to have a terrible ending. Wow. Okay. Yes. Timothy 007. Yeah, he does go by 007 a lot. He did in school too. Oh gosh, chairman of the board. I think that was 98 because we talked about that, didn't we? Chairman of the board, because that was
Yeah, we did already mention
yeah.
that.
Ewan McGregor's brother is a fighter pilot, and his call sign is OB2.
That's funny. I think I heard something. I think I heard that. Oh my gosh, that's right. I remember the Inspector Gadget film. Lord. And shepherds we shall be for thee, my Lord, for thee. Yeah.
Oh yeah, the line.
I really think rewatching Boondock helped me appreciate it even more. I mean, I liked it the first time, but I like it even more
never talked much
now.
about it. You know,
No, I didn't. I mean, it was just kind of like a casual. Oh yeah, that's fun. I liked it.
Timothy talked about, like, he talked about that, and that's how I found out about it. And then, you know, I saw some clips of it. It also had young Indiana Jones, the actor that played young Indiana Jones.
Yes. Yep.
Which.
And he also played in Dead Zone. Yeah, Glenn, I know. I mean, I don't really consider myself an official movie reviewer. I just watch movies that interest me. So sometimes a lot of movies in the top 10 don't really interest me. So I don't.
Yeah, I'm kind of the same way. There's not a lot. Like, it depends on what I'm interested in. Now, you could tend to open up into new stuff when you get older, but
I was about to bring up Office Space, actually.
Yeah, I was wondering if anyone was going to mention.
It's a classic, one of the better movies. Great comedy. I love that
and
movie.
Who is that? Who is in that?
Is it Ron Livingston? That dude who just isn't he? He's in Band of Brothers, right? He's in Band of Brothers.
Oh, really?
Yeah, and he's just an average-looking dude who shows up all the time.
Oh, that's the one's got Gary Cole in it. Yeah, he's on memes all the time, right?
He's the boss.
Wait. Who did he play in Band of Brothers?
I don't remember. That movie. It's been a while since I've seen Band of Brothers. I just remember that he's in it. If you Google his face, Ron Livingston.
Because there was a lot of actors that were in that show.
Yeah, there was like
a lot.
Cast. I don't remember.
Jimmy Fallon was in there.
I've seen Arturo. I'm going to put it in the private chat. You can look him up, and you'll probably know exactly who he is.
Stephen.
He played Captain Lewis Nixon.
Captain.
Do you remember that character, Arturo?
Let me see. Hold on.
Well, there's his. I sent his Wikipedia in the private chat.
Okay, let me see. The actor.
Yeah. You'll recognize him. I mean, you're all about Band of Brothers.
Oh, him. Yeah. He's the one I told you where his wife sent him a letter like they were divorced and she was taking the dog. And he was she never liked that dog or something like that. He was all mad.
That's right. That's him. Okay.
He was in The Conjuring too, the first one.
Yeah, I've seen him. Was he in the first one? Okay. Oh, here we go. Chris is reciting off the whole.
Office Space, maybe
that our feet may swiftly carry out thy command, and we shall flow a river forth to thee, and teeming with souls.
Will it ever be?
Will it ever be?
Yeah.
Galaxy Quest and Austin Powers. There's a lot of good comedies, but no, what's it? The one we just talked about. Yeah, Big Daddy.
Office Space.
Office Space is probably the best. My favorite comedy from the year.
Mike Judge seems to make all these sort of nuanced, ultimately classics, but they're not really appreciated in their time.
Yeah,
like that, and what was the other one? Idiocracy.
Yeah,
that was a big flop as well, but again, it's a classic.
I've heard. I haven't seen either one of those.
There's a thing called True Crime. It was a Clint Eastwood. He directed it, but he also acted in it.
You know, and I wrote that down, and I'm sure I've seen it, but I couldn't tell you now what it's about.
Really?
I don't remember. So I feel like I would like to rewatch that because I like a lot of Clint Eastwood's films from the 90s. I saw Deep Blue Sea. I remember that movie and was surprised as heck when Samuel L. Jackson.
Everyone thought he was going to make it to the end.
Yeah. He didn't. He was gone.
Oh, yeah. Wait. Have you heard of The Hurricane?
Yes, Denzel Washington. I didn't watch it, but I heard about it. He was up for an Oscar for that.
You didn't watch it?
Movie. I didn't watch it.
Oh, there he is, the new guy.
Oh, he showed up. Okay.
Hello, Ryan.
Hello.
Hello.
Hey.
What's up, guys?
We're
What's
just
up?
like rolling through some of the films from the 90s in no particular order, and I'm trying to catch up with comments.
Perfect.
Catch Me If You Can. Oh, yeah, no, it's definitely not 1999. That was early-ish 2000s, maybe?
Yeah, it wasn't. It was not long after 99.
Hmm.
Yeah, we have talked about The Matrix.
We'll probably talk about it again though, doing the top threes, because that's I feel like multiple people's favorite movie of the year.
It was a big deal at the time, for sure.
Yeah,
I mean, the Matrix discussion is never done, my friend.
and that's one of the things about it is like the Matrix. Yeah, it's part of it's a cultural reference in a way that most movies never get to.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, take the red
Anybody
pill.
heard
Yeah.
of Angela's Ashes?
Angela's
Mhm.
Ashes.
Angela's Ashes. Yeah.
I've heard of it, but I never
I don't even know what it's about.
Cool.
It looks
saw
like
it.
It's a biographical movie about a guy called Frank McCourt, a guy who was born in Ireland but then moved to the States.
Oh,
And
okay.
it's just about his childhood
Oh.
growing
Oh.
up in
Okay.
Ireland.
Absolutely recommend Dirty Work. Yeah, it's really funny.
Yeah, that's like this at least the second time this one got. Yeah, because we talked about that last one, I think. Was this the year when Johnny Depp was Ichabod Crane? Yes,
Yeah,
it
Sleepy Hollow.
is. A
Mhm.
fun film. A hummingbird. Sorry, there's so many comments here. I'm trying to catch up. Get these MF and sharks out of this MF and D boys.
Well, I've gone through the list, so
The 13th
I don't know
Warrior,
what else there is.
the better movie from 1999.
Does
Well, he
Ryan want
said-
to talk
did you
about
say-
like a specific movie he liked from this year?
Antonio Banderas. Did you
Okay,
guys?
you're thinking 13th Warrior.
Yeah, that movie was really good.
I have never seen that, and I did put that on my list of movies to watch, but we
It's
never
really
got
good.
around
Has
to
anyone
it.
else seen that 13th Warrior with Antonio
Yeah,
Banderas?
it's all right.
Oh,
I
really?
was-
That's all right.
I think it's cool because like he teams up with all these like Vikings, and then they get
Hmm.
an action movie.
Oh, was that the one we were gonna watch?
Yeah, it's like it has to do with like some supernatural or creatures
Yeah,
or something.
I really like it. I really like it.
I have seen the
Such a
13th.
Brown Savior movie
It's
where a brown
It's
guy
a
comes
Brown
in,
Savior.
saves all the
a brown
It's a Brown Savior movie. I know.
Ah.
He comes and saves all the darn white people can't figure
all
it out.
Vikings. Yeah.
Yeah.
I have not seen the fourth floor. Do you guys know what he's referring
I
to?
don't recall. I don't know.
I have seen the 13th floor, but just in passing, so I couldn't tell you. Sorry. Okay,
couple-
sorry.
Couple
Go
big
ahead.
comedies from '99: American Pie and Analyze This.
I've never seen either
Analyze
one of those.
this. Robert De Niro and Billy Crystal.
Billy Crystal, yeah.
Yeah, I forgot about that movie. It's been a long time. And American Pie was huge, and as a 14-year-old, we saw that movie. a
Oh,
lot.
jeez. Of course. Did he leave or did he get kicked out, Arturo?
No, he said the page just crashed on him.
Oh shit.
Oh, dear. That
I'll
sucks.
send him link again.
Double
was-
Jeopardy was decent. I liked it. Have you guys seen it?
Don't think
Nope.
so.
Wait, yes. Was that with
Ashley
what's her
Judd?
name? Ashley Judd,
Ashley
yeah.
Judd. Yeah. And
I never
oh
saw
gosh. Oh geez, I forget who else played in there with her. It was like the dude who played her husband. I can see his face,
Mm-hmm.
but don't remember his name.
You know what? I did
That
want to
was
bring
pretty
this-
decent.
this
Sort of
last-
like crime mystery type of film.
I was going to bring
Sorry,
this
go ahead.
last movie up. This was actually the last one we saw for '99, The Three Kings, or it's Three
Oh
Kings.
yeah.
Yeah,
Three Kings.
George Clooney.
George
Mhm.
Clooney. It's got Ice Cube.
Ice Cube, George Clooney, and
It's got
Mark Wahlberg.
Mark Wahlberg. Yeah, yeah.
It's even got the guy from Fear the Walking Dead.
I like that movie. That was kind of different.
It kind of reminded me of Kelly's Heroes.
A little
Going
bit,
after the
yeah.
gold, you know, it had.
I'd never
it had
seen
like
that film until we watched it the other day.
It had the guy from Wonder Woman 2017. It also had
Yeah.
the girl from Halloween 2018.
Oh yeah, Judy Greer.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, a lot of recognizable.
Yep, Iron Giant is that old. That was one of the ones I wrote down to talk about. So I think, okay. Oh, I didn't know it was based on an anime film. Of course it was.
Oh. Really?
The General's Daughter. Yes, I was going to bring that up too. I like that. That was based on a novel by Nelson DeMille. I thought it was pretty good. Kate, have you guys seen Eyes Wide Shut?
No, I don't want to watch an orgy movie.
Exactly.
I like Dave Chappelle's joke of us of like, hey, if you're ever in an orgy, just you can ruin the mood. Just say ew.
Right. I saw Red Notice and Ryan Reynolds. Like, there's this one scene where they have to go in this place and wear these masks, and he references that movie. Ryan Reynolds is so Ryan Reynolds in Red Notice. Let me tell you. 13. I'll watch that at some point. It was fun film. Okay.
There's Double Jeopardy. Has anybody heard about that one?
Yeah, someone just mentioned that. It's like a legal. Oh, he got kicked off again.
Oh man.
Damn.
Okay, next time he pops in, if he comes back, let's let him talk about some of his favorites.
Yeah,
I just wonder if he's going to be able to
say anything.
Oh
the first South Park movie.
Yeah.
That's right.
That one.
I noticed that
for sure because that was another one. Like at Austin Powers, we saw in the theater. South Park, we saw in the theater. I remember my dad had to take me and my friends because it was R-rated and we were 14. But that was so. South Park was my favorite my favorite TV show at the time the movie came out, and it was extremely exciting. And it lived up to. We loved
the hype.
My friends, yeah, we were quoting it, rewatching it all the time. So, South Park was a big deal.
Tommy Lee Jones.
For me.
That's right, Joe. But I couldn't remember who it was. Yeah, you guys are right. Sorry, I'm just trying to catch up with all the comments here. Yeah, I couldn't remember who the heck it was in there with him. Sleepy Hollow is definitely. Yep, same here. Well, definitely, it's in my top 3. D. I just really enjoy that movie. I've seen it multiple times, and it just doesn't get old for me.
No, pretty.
So,
I think I saw more movies in the theater this year, except for the years I worked in a movie theater and they're free. But
for 99,
I can remember a lot in like the summer and throughout the year. I was going to the theater a lot.
So, do you have your top 3? You want to share?
Yeah, I feel like I feel like there's a number we could.
Yeah, I kind of got to go through this myself.
Haven't even talked about. Just interesting movies.
There's several I wrote down.
Anyone
here.
seen Arlington Road?
That's a good movie. Yeah,
I really think I did see that.
I really like that.
Maybe once.
Kurt Russell, right? Or no?
Oh, Jeff Bridges.
Jeff Bridges and
Tim Robbins.
Oh, yeah, Tim Robbins. Yeah.
I like that movie
Joan
because
Cusack.
the ending. You didn't see the ending coming. I thought, which I liked. I was like, wow, that movie actually surprised me. And most movies don't really. I like that movie. It's been a while too. I forgot about it.
Have you guys seen Ravenous?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, the cannibal.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Robert Carlyle.
Too. Robert Carlyle. Yeah. From the Irish or British actor. That
I just remember Guy Pearce was in it. And I first saw that movie maybe a year or so before I moved into this office. So it had been it'd been out for a while. I'd never heard of it. Any Given Sunday. I never saw that film. Still haven't seen Ravenous. Yeah, it's I thought it was pretty decent actually. I thought it was a pleasant surprise to watch it, to discover it anyway.
A lot of these movies I gotta rewatch, like Sleepy Hollow. Just talking about it, I'm like, man, I forgot so much. But one movie, it's been a long time, but I would want to rewatch it because it really surprised me. Town and Mr. Ripley. Has anyone seen that?
Mm-hmm.
Bits and pieces of it. Was that 99?
Yeah, I think it's
holy cow.
At least when I saw it,
I
thought it was really interesting and different, and I liked it a lot. And I want to rewatch that one.
Doesn't he play like a bad guy, Matt Damon?
It's an interest. It's a complex character drama with a little bit of edge to it. But he kind of turns into a bad guy because he's kind of just there's a great quote from the movie. It's like, I'd rather be a fake somebody than a real nobody, which is kind of what he's kind of a nobody, and he kind of starts taking over. He befriends some rich people and kind of starts finding a way to kind of infiltrate and take over parts of their lives. I don't want to give all the stuff away, but he kind of becomes a villain when he really just wants to fit in and be fancy.
Oh, okay.
Joker.
Yeah. So it's a good movie, I think. It was a good movie.
Yeah, it's still brought up often. I mean, I see it referenced often. As,
Wait, what is this?
The Talented Mr. Ripley.
Mm-hmm.
Oh.
The Matt Damon.
Gwyneth Paltrow.
I don't
Jude
think I've
Law,
heard of
Kate
that.
Blanchett, and Philip Seymour Hoffman. Okay.
Oh, Philip's in there. I forgot Philip.
I didn't realize he. Has anyone seen the movie called
Old Phil?
Existence? Ends with a Z.
Existence, yeah.
Existence. Yeah. I discovered that movie a year or so ago. Never heard of it before. It was different.
Different.
Yeah, it was different.
Yeah.
10 Things I Hate About You. No, I never watched that movie. It's my okay. I didn't know it was modern Shakespeare, but it's also romantic comedy. So I stayed
Based
away
on
from.
Taming of the Shrew, I believe.
Okay. Yeah, I had heard that before, and I hate Shakespeare, so that's probably not.
Well, I gotta mention, in that case, let me just quickly mention Titus, because that's another Shakespeare adaptation from 99.
From 99?
Yeah, I believe so. I think I saw it on here earlier, which
Oh yeah.
I don't really remember much, or I don't know if I can recommend it.
Oh,
but
I never heard of it.
It's kind of interesting.
Oh.
Hopkins is in it. Anthony Hopkins is in it, and
Mhm.
I just remember seeing it in that. It's like it was really weird and different in a way that, like, I was like, I don't know what's going on, but it's just kind of cool. Like, there's motorcycles and shit and weird. I can't describe
Motorcycles?
it's like you gotta watch the trailer for it, because it's like a weird, like, they're staging a play and filming it, but the play they're staging is like over the top ridiculous, and it's all Shakespeare. But I just thought it was like, damn, this is ambitious. I don't know. Yeah, being John Malkovich, you gotta mention that was.
And I didn't realize that was 99, and I've never seen that one either.
Oh my goodness! See,
haven't seen Being John Malkovich. Haven't
No.
seen
Fight
Club.
Mom.
Don't like Shakespeare.
You're getting
No.
into these now. You're getting
Like,
into these.
I think
Parting
99.
ways.
It didn't have a bunch of movies I love, but it had like so many different types of movies, and especially as I feel like it kind of represents that cinema is opening up in that way, of that there's just more people making more different types of things than ever before. And I think that you see it in all these different types of movies, like original and creative movies to go along with just, cool classic stuff. But yeah,
Actually,
John Malkovich.
I actually think 99 represented the closing down of all that, of
Really?
the indie movement of the 90s.
Yeah.
And then the 2000s with like X-Men and everything, the blockbuster took over.
Right.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Interesting.
I can see that. Have either of you guys seen a movie called Ride with the Devil?
Rings a bell.
No, I don't think so.
It actually looks pretty interesting, and I'd never heard of it until I was going through the list of movies. It's got a pretty big cast. Hold on. Trying to find it. It's got Tobey Maguire, Steve Ulrich, Jewel, Jeffrey Wright, Jonathan Brandis, Jim Caviezel, Jonathan Rhys Meyers, Mark Ruffalo. I think it's a Western. It looks pretty interesting, but we never got around to watching that. Yeah, I love The Mummy too. I do wish I had seen that on the big screen. I think it would have been a lot of fun.
Well, you should have done it in 1999.
Well, I'm just going to blame you and Aurelia.
Well,
like Simon was doing.
Hey, I was what, 3 years old.
Does someone literally
had your
play
mom
Lucifer?
that could have taken care of me or something,
I just wasn't in the habit of doing it, so I'd gone most of my life never going to a movie theater.
1991, Terminator 2.
Yeah, I have, but what I mean is it just wasn't part of my routine. Like now, I go probably once a week at least. But back then, it just wasn't part of my life, so I just didn't. Even though I loved movies, I'd watch them on video. I'm not sure what you're referring to. Are you referring to a movie we were talking about?
End of Days?
Oh, Ride with the Devil. You know what? I don't know I thought it was a Western. Oh, it's directed by Ang Lee. That was another thing I noticed when I thought it was a Western. Yeah. I don't think it's supernatural or anything. But it just, and I'm not big into Westerns, but it looked, just the cast was intriguing to me because I'd never heard of it. So did you pick your top 3?
What, me?
A few more movies I want to bring up
Okay.
before we get into that.
Yeah.
Let's see, where are they?
I've got several listed here that I never talked about.
Magnolia.
Yeah, that's a big one. Yeah, that was a big
It's
one.
the one with
Is that
Tom
Paul
Cruise, right?
Mm-hmm.
And a big cast, a stacked cast with a
Okay, you know what?
little
I
innocent
get
stories.
that mixed up with Vanilla Sky.
Right.
So what was Magnolia about? Because I haven't seen that.
It's just a mix of different stories that kind of all weave into each other. It's a Paul Thomas Anderson movie.
Oh, okay.
So that gives you an idea of what to expect. But yeah, it's just a very intense, very good, very depressing drama.
Depressing.
Yeah. And it got a lot of buzz. It kind of made him, he's a really interesting director, and that movie got a lot more buzz for his name. Because I think Boogie Nights was like kind of his first big hit, and then this.
Oh, he did that. That's the director. Okay.
And this put him even more kind of like, I don't know, over the top, I guess. Just really original filmmaker. Yeah. And I want to mention Bringing Out the Dead, the Martin Scorsese movie.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, that was a Martin Scorsese. That's Nick Cage and
Cage,
Patricia Arquette.
Yep, John Goodman, the ambulance drivers.
Right.
I really like that movie because it just has this frantic, dark streets of New York energy that he brought to life. That it's one of my favorite Nick Cage movies, and it's another movie that I just watched on TV once. I wasn't really expecting anything, and I found myself really caught up in it. I just think it's really good.
I have never seen that. I think because I could detect it was the depressing tone, that there was like a depressing, dark.
Yeah.
I mean, and I like dark stuff. It's weird. There's some dark stuff that I'm not crazy about. Like if it's overly depressing.
I mean,
and I got that sense.
It's a little dark. I don't know if it's depressing in that it's got a kind of a lot of energy to it. Like there's lots of movement. It's fast paced, but there is kind of a, the subject matter isn't, pretty or happy. It's people dying and them
right because
they being used to it.
Paramedic and stuff. Yeah.
Yeah, that kind of thing. But it's a good movie. It's a really good movie.
Okay, I was going to respond to what Dee had said about that mechanical spider. And Kenneth Branagh was the one driving it, I think. It's been a good long while since I saw Wild Wild West.
I saw a bit of it a while back on Netflix. I skimmed to like the ending and I'm like, it's kind of.
I used to really love the show. I remember when I was a kid, I had a crush on the main guy. I thought he was handsome. Top 5 for Chris: The Matrix, Fight Club, The Green Mile, The Sixth Sense, and Boondock Saints. Okay, good list.
Not a bad lineup.
Okay, so D, if you would like, I can send you the link.
D, come on, do your top 3, top 4, top 5.
Us before.
Do whatever, just hop on, do it now.
He's into movies like we are. So if you would like to, I can email you the link.
And if you hop on, I'll put the Michael Myers mask on.
Oh, don't do that. Jeez, not again.
I was actually just about to bring it up. Is Roblox Joe?
Yes. Oh,
All
yeah,
right. Yeah,
he is.
Yeah, that mechanical spider was on the wish list of a director. I think he wanted in. I think it was one of the Superman movies. Superman Lives, that was never made. But he kept going on about this mechanical spider. And then the film kind of fell apart. And then years later, Kevin Smith was sitting in the theater watching Wild Wild West. And he saw the big mechanical spiders. And he went, well, fucker got his mechanical spider. Finally, after all these years.
That's funny.
That is funny. I didn't know that story. That's funny.
That's funny. That dude was just so convinced, like the people will love this. The crowds will go wild for this giant spider. And then everyone was like, that movie was kind of dumb. It had this big spider.
And on top of that, you had Ulysses S. Grant, and
Oh yeah, I forgot he was in it. Gosh, it's probably been close to 20 years since I saw that movie the last
the
time.
only thing I remember is that they were on a train. That's when
Okay, D, I'm
there
going to
was-
send it to you right now.
there was this engineer that was running the train, and he remember seeing one at like a train ahead of them, I think an armored train, and then all of a sudden it disappeared. I remember that, and apparently it had like the villain in it, the main villain. And then there was one point where and I did remember seeing this because I was skimming through on Netflix one time when it was on there, but I remember like I think what the girl had one of those balls, one of these like balls for that game where you like hit the ball and it goes into the hole.
Oh, like a pool ball?
Yeah, pool
Yeah.
ball. And it had some sort of like smoke or something that knocked out Will Smith's character. Something like that.
Okay. I forgot. I just remembered the spider, and I remember at one point one or more of the characters was in like a cage.
Yeah, and then the villain had like these sexy women that were dressed up all like
I don't even remember much about the premise, honestly. And I did watch it multiple
women wouldn't
times. I
dress
probably
up
saw
like
it at
that
least
back
2 or 3
then.
times.
It's just they were dressed up very revealing, I would say.
Oh yeah, I'm sure. I'm sure Salma Hayek was the reason the only reason a lot of people watched that movie. That's funny. Yeah, it was a big deal. I remember it got a lot of media attention. There was a lot of buzz around it. And then I remember when it came out, it just kind of seemed like it was fairly disappointing in general. But
Oh, I should pull up the Lonely Man song for that one.
Were there any more you wanting to mention, Simon?
Summer of Sam, Spike Lee.
Oh yeah, somebody brought that up. I think you mentioned that before. Was that you, Colin, that had mentioned that before? Oh no.
I saw it once. I liked it. I don't remember. I didn't love it, but I liked it.
Somebody I recently talked to, I think off the internet, had mentioned that movie. Salma Hayek's acting. And oh shoot, where's my list? Okay.
My list.
Well, I have my top 3. I can list my top 3 if we're ready to do stuff like that.
I'm ready.
You think you're ready? Okay, go ahead.
Ready. I'm ready.
Right after this, I'll be right back.
Okay, all right.
Can I take a minute, Brent?
Yeah, go ahead. Of course.
Right, do it myself.
Now, Colin.
I'll be right back.
We'll wait here.
Let's see.
Just replace him with the movie man.
Yeah, hopefully D gets it and can hop on. Okay, I don't know what happened to your friend Archer. He never even got a chance.
Yeah, he hasn't even written back either, so I don't know what's up.
I hope he didn't.
He was
think we
looking
were,
forward to doing this too.
You remember every time Matt Ron tried to join and his internet was
His
terrible.
internet just kept crashing. Yeah, goodness.
Failure to launch wasn't until 2006.
And
Oh, I'm referencing the guy who couldn't keep his internet connection.
oh, okay. I'm not quite with it.
You're
several
very
different-
tired.
I am actually. I'll be glad when
Well,
these
was Derek
overnights
on?
are
Oh,
done.
wait, he can't join. I forgot.
He can't do it tonight.
So,
Someone mentioned Mystery Men, and I looked.
Mhm.
I saw it as I was scrolling through, and it actually looks pretty interesting. I've never seen that movie. Have you seen it?
Huge cast.
Yeah,
It's like Eddie Izzard and
a lot.
yeah. Oh, what's his name?
Ben
I do want to
Stiller,
talk about
Ben
the
Stiller, that's the
shows.
one.
William H. Macy, Janine
Mhm.
Garofalo, Hank
Yep.
Azaria, Greg Kinnear, Paul Rubens, and Jeffrey Rush.
Mm-hmm. It is a superhero parody.
Well,
and
right.
It was way ahead of its time. But yeah,
Okay.
it's really good. I think.
Yeah.
No, I may be mixing something up, but I think there was a guy whose superpower was just hitting people with a shovel.
Handing people the shovel.
Sorry, hitting people with a shovel.
Oh, hitting people with a shovel. That's his
Like,
superpower.
what?
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know why I never got around to watching it. Probably because there was comedy attached to it was why.
Mhm.
But that was part of the reason I stayed away from Galaxy Quest for so long too.
Is that why you also stayed away from Three Kings?
I think
No,
Three Kings
it's a drama.
it's a drama, and it didn't really interest me. And George Clooney does absolutely zero for me, so I was not interested. I'm just like, I'll pass.
Until I
There've been-
decided I wanted to watch it because it kind of reminded me of Kelly Searo's just in
The premise,
Adult
yeah.
War.
It was decent. I mean, I liked it okay. It's not like my top 3. You only have a clear top 2.
Oh,
There's D. I was gonna add him, but I didn't want to
D.
kick him off. Hey D, how you
What's
doing?
up?
Good to see you again.
Good to
But
see you too.
that was part of the reason I stayed away
Whoa.
from requests for so long.
Whoa, what was that?
I'm hearing myself.
Is that why you also stayed away from Three Kings?
Are you watching at the same time you're on here, D?
It's a drama,
Oh,
and
you know what?
it didn't
Sorry.
really interest me. And George Clooney does absolutely zero for me.
Sorry, that's my. I totally didn't realize.
I was like, oh, that's my voice. That's so terrible.
Nah, it's fine.
Okay, so do you have some you would like to talk about? We've talked about so many different films, but I don't even think we've touched on most of them.
Right. I know I just mentioned. What was it called? Wild Wild West.
Wild Wild West.
Yes, like I said, that the more I think about a lot of the stuff, that film literally has a scene, and I mean, I understand people get upset about stuff now, and you can't speak to stuff that was made then. But when I think about it, there's literally a scene where Kenneth Branagh's character and Will Smith, they're making jokes about each other, and one is making jokes about slavery and the fact that he's black, and the other is making jokes about the fact that he's handicapped and in a wheelchair.
Oh,
like-
okay, I forgot.
Yeah, they're making
about
those games with each other. And I'm like, ooh, I can only imagine now. But
That wouldn't fly. That wouldn't fly now, probably.
the whole concept and the idea, a lot of that stuff, they probably couldn't get away with. But
Yeah. Gosh, it's been.
Wasn't like not a lot of
2
stuff back
decades
then
since
were
I've seen
not
that
fly
film.
today.
I know,
That's the thing.
and I feel like that's kind of in a lot of ways. I feel like that's been a negative impact on some of the creativity, of films today, because a lot of films feel very generic and they feel like they try to be so safe, or whatever. And I think that the storytelling has suffered a bit as a result. Okay? So Chris says your shirt is awesome. What is it? I'm trying to.
Oh, can you tell?
What is it?
Oh, it's the alien.
Oh, okay. I
Yeah.
couldn't tell because the thumbnails for all of us it's kind of small, so
Okay.
I couldn't tell.
It's basically the Jurassic Park logo, but
Mhm.
instead of Jurassic
alien.
Park and the T-Rex, it's
I thought it was
L4.
Jurassic Park at first.
And then the Xenomorph. Yeah.
Okay, all right. I agree, Steven. Not a huge fan. He's just not. I just doesn't. Aliens mixed with Jurassic.
He's
Yeah.
okay. Like I mean, he was all right in Three Kings. That's me. But yeah.
Yeah, it was a decent film.
Yeah, I've never gotten into him, and I want to say my interest. Well, I never watched this, but I faintly remember him on ER back in the day. But then also, even though I was young, I remember him as Bruce Wayne in the
bat nipples.
the much appreciated.
Oh yeah.
Batman
Not
and
the bat
Robin,
nipples.
which didn't really do much to endear me to him. So no.
I first
All right,
remember him
I've got
as Roseanne's boss back in the 80s.
He was in Roseanne. You know what else he was in? I think he was in One Day at a Time, which was a sitcom from the early-ish 80s. About this single mother and her 2 daughters that lived in this apartment. I think he was like the handyman. And that might have been one of his early appearances. I remember him in ER. I remember first noticing him. I never watched ER, but I remember he like made this big splash because everybody thought he's so handsome. He's always just been kind of meh to me.
Right.
But
Well, he was
Anyway.
also in Dusk Till Dawn. He was fine in that.
I liked him in Dusk Till Dawn, but that might also be because I liked the movie. I liked the subject matter, and it was
Well,
just
the movie
so.
was crazy, like especially
It
the
was.
ending. Good night. It was like it's like you're on weed. It's just everything's gone shitless.
Yeah, it's just
That's
that movie.
Awesome.
It was fun. Fun film though.
I love
Okay.
it.
I mean,
Oh,
I
sorry.
like the build up. I like the build up, but Man, you didn't get to the vampire stuff until like
Oh.
kind of near sort of the end.
I wanted to mention that. I'm glad
Maybe
you
halfway
put that
through.
on that list. Actually, two movies I was going to mention. But
Okay.
Audition, I was just going to mention because it's kind of famous as a horror.
Oh, the Japanese movie?
Yeah,
That's the
yeah.
Japanese horror
kinda
movie,
like-
right?
I was kind of like, sometimes I'm just like, oh, so it's just gory? Like, that was the whole thing? Is like, it's really gory. I'm like, like, it had a few creepy, the dude in the bag was creepy as fuck. But
It
it's
was.
like, it's a 2-hour movie, and they spend an hour doing like a soap opera drama to make you get into it. And then there's a few creepy moments, and then it's really gory, and it's over, and you're like, that.
And-
I didn't think it was that scary. Like, it had a few creepy moments, and for a 2-hour movie, it wasn't that great.
There's some other Japanese
really
horror
famous.
movies from '99, but there was also this Korean movie that another guy that would usually hop on here, Mike. I don't know if that came out this year or it was like '98. Do you remember that, Sin? He talked
No.
about that. It was a Korean movie that like in a school or something. In a school. No.
I forgot which one.
I wanted to mention
I heard it was good.
Payback, which I think we maybe brought up before, the Mel Gibson movie. That's one of my favorite Mel Gibson movies.
Oh, I remember that. I believe, yeah.
Because it felt like it was just, it went harder than you thought. I felt like it was going to be a Hollywood kind of, and it is a little bit Hollywood, but it just felt like it was a little more raw and action packed, and it was a little more badass than I thought. And it's a good Mel Gibson movie, I think.
Oh, Ring 2.
I think
came
I
out
only
this
saw
year.
it once, and I don't remember details about it at all because it's been so long. So I could rewatch it, and it would be like watching it for the first time.
Probably me too, honestly. And I
Yeah.
kind of went through a lot of these movies. Yeah, I need to find a better streaming site for some of them.
I would
said
like
the-
to watch some of these foreign horror movies.
Audition.
Well,
I
they have the
watched it.
Ring. They have the Ring, and then there's Ring 2 that came out in '99.
Yeah, I thought it was called. Was it called Ring 2 or was
Ring
it called
2,
Rings?
Ring 2.
Ring
Ringu?
2. Okay.
Ringu?
Are you talking about the foreign language one?
The Japanese one, yeah.
The Japanese one. Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I
don't
heard that's
remember
kind
if
of like
I
a pretty,
saw that one.
Wouldn't you say it's kind of like sort of a popular horror series because they did an adaptation over here, sort of. I think because of that movie where you put the VHS in and she
Yeah.
comes out. Yeah, that's based off of that.
She was creepy. Audition. Joe Bob Briggs recently did a thing on his show about Audition, and I liked it, but it
It's
was
messed
like,
up. I heard like with what Chris Stuckman said about it. Basically, the guy, they did this messed up thing to they get these girls
trying to
and
get a wife.
They think
Yeah.
they're going to be auditioned for a movie. No, the guy just wants to date.
Yeah,
Mo.
right.
That's how messed
Yeah.
up it is. And then you find out one of the girls is kind of a lunatic. I'm
She's
not
a little
sure.
cray-cray.
I don't
Yeah.
know. I don't know too much about it. I just know that premise. Well, I'm like,
But-
well, dude, you got yourself into that mess. So
You got to be careful
No,
about the
no.
people you choose to hang out with. But I remember being surprised at how abruptly it was over. Like
Yeah.
when things came to a head, and I don't want to spoil too much, but I expected it was going to be more drawn out of a conflict, and it was done, and it kind of surprised me.
Yeah.
like out in Tornado.
The ending was almost traditional in a weird way, where it's like, and then she's going to get him, and then I felt like the ending was the most traditional part of the movie. It was fairly gory. But just,
Yeah,
Yeah.
I was gonna say, I immediately, every time I think about that film, and hopefully this isn't because I have PTSD, but I specifically remember just the scene where, I don't know, I can't remember if it's like the pieces of a broom or if it was actual needles. Just remember when she is basically jamming one of those things into his eye, and she keeps saying deeper, deeper.
Yeah. And the way she was talking, that like, because it was in the original language, right? But the way it sounded, like the way she said the words, it was like such a contrast to what she was doing. It was
Right.
just like, I don't know, just so creepy. She was creepy.
What, like, does she sound very like sinister? Like a
No, the way she
Like
was
a cute little
talking.
girl.
Yeah, exactly. It's like, oh, this is just. Yeah, exactly. Like, oh, this is just all wrong.
Well, hey, it's a messed up shit.
Yeah, it was. Yeah, I forgot that it was as long as it was. I just remember watching it once, and the scene I never forgot was the wire around his ankle.
Ooh.
To me, that one was like one of the worst things.
Oh, when the bag moved, I jumped. Like that was a scare.
I forgot
Wait,
about
give
the
me
bag. Wasn't
spoilers.
that
I
someone
haven't
in a
seen
room
this
in the
movie.
background?
Yeah, it's just a bag in a room, then you just think it's some bag with, junk in it, and then all of a sudden it moves, like it lurches, and you're like,
Yeah.
holy fuck, like
Right.
there's a person in there. Like it's really, that was
And I forgot, who was that? Was that one of her victims or
yeah,
something?
just some dude she kept in a bag.
Okay.
Well, okay.
So, Stuart Little.
Yes. Stuart Little.
Let's go back to a nice family-friendly
a nice
conversation.
family-friendly.
Oh no, maybe
Gosh,
that
was
just
it
could be a nice
that old?
family-friendly movie too.
Oh, sure.
That's what
It's a
Matt always
romance.
say.
Wow, I did not realize Stuart Little was this old, you guys. And also, I completely forgot that Hugh Laurie was in it.
Mhm.
Oh, I remember Hugh Laurie because I knew Hugh Laurie from that, but my introduction was in the 101 Dalmatians live action back in the 90s.
Yeah.
That's the one about the mouse.
Yeah. The
remember
little
watching
tiny
that.
mouse that was adopted.
Wasn't the cat kind of like a turd in that
Movie
one?
Man, I
sort
see
of?
your shirt with the alien. Did you get that game? Because I got that game, Alien Isolation.
Oh, I don't have it. We actually discussed it. I think was that the
We talked about it last time.
The horror.
the
horror.
The last live stream.
I got
no,
that
I
game.
still have to get it. But
It's awesome.
I'm on the fence with that. I want to play it, but I know it is going to
Scare you?
It's made my
not
heart race a few times. Like I think I'm all like, it's a game, I'm fine, and then something will, and I'm like, it's really scary. I can only play.
What are you guys talking about? It's a nice family-friendly game. You play hide and seek. That's all you do.
That is basically.
I don't know, Joe. When he officially went off the deep end, I'm not sure.
I don't know. I thought he's either always been. I thought he's always been off the deep end.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I remember he was the way he was very much in character. I think when they filmed
they talked
this.
about when he was on set, he was doing the whole like on Kaufman on set.
Yeah.
I don't really know anything about Kaufman, but I watched some Kaufman, and it looked like he did a really good job.
I've heard that he did.
Really
Yeah.
seemed to inhabit the role. Like I forgot he was Jim Carrey in a way. I thought he impressed me. I didn't think he would be able to be that different. I like Jim Carrey a lot.
Okay, I didn't realize that that Uninvited was a remake. Of course, it would be a remake.
Yeah. Of course.
Remake. Woohoo! Woohoo!
Okay, Dee, were there any others you wanted to talk about?
Yes, I want to talk about, unless you guys have mentioned it already, but The Haunting.
We actually did not.
Wait,
Did we?
Michael J. Fox? Peter Jackson?
No, The Haunting is Catherine Zeta-Jones,
That one.
Owen Wilson, and I'm blanking.
Liam Neeson. Yeah.
And
Bruce Dern, Lily Taylor. Yeah, I've seen that one.
Yes, I could hear her name wasn't coming. Yeah, no, that was one I saw. I was 9, and it's one of those films that I feel like I don't know what it is. I don't know if it's the nostalgia of watching films when you're young, or that you don't have just the adult analysis of things. I was really into that one because I love the design of the house and the way that they like the sets and everything. Because I thought that's actually how I look on the inside. But just the whole like creation of the house kind of being alive, different sculptures and just the design of everything. I was really into that. Now, I didn't know that it was a bad movie until I got older, and I didn't know that it was based on a very popular, successful, classic film and an equally successful novel that adapted from. So then circling back, I was like, oh, so basically this was just kind of like a complete jump away from the rest of that. It was just a good big CGI fest, which I still enjoy, but I see why there are issues with it now.
So, what, Colin? Don't get all choked up about it,
All right.
Colin. So what was it? Oh, geez, scared the crap out of me. Sorry. What was it a remake of? What was the book? See, I always got this confused with how the Haunting of Hill House. No, House on Haunted Hill. I always got that confused. These two movies confused.
Right. Yeah. No. It's from the. I'd have to look at the novel, but I believe it's the Haunting.
It was the Haunting of Hill House. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
And so.
Wait a second.
And so there's a film back in the '60s, I believe. I was supposed to say Shirley Jackson was the name of the author, but yeah, there was a very classic, important film as far as horror, and it's a black and white film, and so it had already kind of made its impact as far as telling that story, and then this kind of completely chopped and screwed it into something else.
So there's the Haunting of Hill House, and then there's the House on Haunted Hill. Those are two.
Oh, House on Haunted Hill isn't related. That's something.
See, that's why I was always getting them confused.
Right.
I don't think I ever saw the original that The Haunting was based on, but I did see The Haunting several years ago. I remember not being overly impressed with it, but just watched it because Liam Neeson and because it's horror. So.
Right.
Colin. Yeah. Yeah, Colin is just sitting there.
I'm happy. No,
okay.
I know I watched The Haunting, but again, it's been about 20 years or longer, and I just can't remember much of it.
Yeah, I don't remember. I remember Lily Taylor being in there because I recognized her from originally watching her in an episode of X-Files. I think that was the very first thing I ever saw her in. She played a blind person.
She came to my attention in I Shot Andy Warhol.
I Shot Andy Warhol?
Yeah. It was a biography of Valerie Solanas, who wrote the Scum Manifesto, a really sort of hardline feminist manifesto.
Okay. Never heard of it.
It's quite good.
Really?
Is it really? Yeah, there was a sort of 90s obsession with the sort of pop-out era, because there was that and there was Basquiat as well, which is another maybe not great movies, but they're interesting.
Okay. Never.
I was also gonna throw in The Raid, Carrie 2.
Oh gosh, I saw that and I never wrote it down to talk about it because I never saw it. I mean, I saw it in the list, but I never watched the movie.
Yeah.
I heard it was terrible.
Now, see, like I said, it's one of those that maybe because it just came along at a certain time. I think the idea of it was actually really interesting. I think the way that they kind of link it is kind of cool, and it's not. I think it's one of those films where it kind of gets ragged on because it's kind of a cheap kind of connection to the original. And once again, kind of like Haunting, but in a different way.
What
it's kind of like
the title?
Attaching. Oh.
I missed which movie you're talking about.
Oh, The Rage, Carrie 2?
Oh, I never saw that. I can't say I can't.
I think Derek talked about that during one of our recent discussions. Didn't he mention didn't Amy Irving come back in that one?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, we did mention that.
Maybe it came up in our Halloween live stream, Dee.
Yeah.
Because he was talking about how he was disappointed with how they treated that character when she came back. Or something like that.
That was one of the big issues with it. And just the fact that if you look at it, it's really just kind of a cash grab. And it's really kind of catching in the whole Carrie, the original story and everything. I think in and of itself, I think is really interesting. There are moments with the gore and some aspects of it that get a little silly. But I enjoyed it a lot more. I thought it was going to be dumb, so maybe that's why I enjoyed it a lot more than I thought I would. And it was kind of interesting that they explored the modern day aspect of that.
So you went in with like low expectations. Let me see who was in that.
I remember it was Emily. It was Emily Virgo. Is that how you say her name? Yeah.
Oh, Emily. I gotta see her face. Oh, I vaguely recognize her.
Yeah.
Okay.
And the cast, for the most part, outside of Amy Irvin, it was kind of like relative unknowns. I do remember Mina Savari was in it, and I can't say what happens to her character, but she's not in it that long. But she was in that too.
Oh, okay. Oh yeah, I see her name here. Okay.
But yeah, I think when it comes down to, I think it's to me it's kind of a fun take on it. I don't think it's any worse. Actually, in some ways, you could argue it's better, but depending on how you feel about it, you could argue it's better than the NBC Carrie film, the NBC like miniseries version, and possibly this the newest one they did with Chloe Grace Moretz, outside of maybe like the effects or something like that.
Okay, I don't think I ever watched that remake or the miniseries. I think the only one I've really seen all the way through is the one with Sissy Spacek, the original, and then I read the book.
Oh, I did
when
too.
I was in high school. Yeah. Yeah, I love horror movies though. I like the shock. I like the suspense. I don't know why, but yeah, that I could just watch them all the time.
Yeah, my favorite aspect of it is kind of I think I've realized this as I've gotten older, but I like the mystery aspect of horror. Just there's always something linked, like, what's if it's a haunted house, why is this house haunted? What's at the root of the house?
Yeah, I like horror films.
Who died, who killed somebody, there's always like a who done it or something behind the actual story. I always like that.
Well, that's one of the reasons that I enjoyed *Malignant* quite a bit, is because not only is it a horror creature type of horror, but it's also a mystery. And so I don't know.
Where can I watch this?
*Malignant*, you know what? It used to be on HBO Max, but I'm not sure where it is now, Colin.
I like monsters and mysteries. That sounds like
it was just so okay because it starts off and you think, oh, it's weird, Colin, because it was pretty divisive with viewers. And so I went into it thinking, this is probably going to suck, but it's James Wan. So I was like, okay, let's see. And it starts off and I'm like, okay, all right. It just feels like very generic to me. And like, especially the beginning, it just felt really over the top and crazy. It's like, but then it gets to where this twist is revealed. And I'm like, oh, I love this movie.
I might watch it.
So I'll see if I can find where it is while we're talking.
Cool.
I mean, I like horror movies if they're done right. Lately,
it's hard to do horror.
Lately, it's mostly video games that I like a little more when it comes to the horror aspects. It's just you will find a pretty good horror movie here and there. Like, The Conjuring would probably be one, and then *Malignant* will be the next one. Just most of them are just like we've discussed, too generic.
I like being scared, but so many movies that try to be scary, I find to be, I end up insulting the screen. I'm like, this is like a really good scary movie. Like, I'm too busy being scared and absorbed by the movie to do that. So I notice, like, if I'm watching a movie and I end up like yelling at it and getting mad, I'm like, this movie's just not doing it. Like,
yeah.
And more often than not, horror movies or scary movies, I'll start a lot, and 30 minutes in, I'm like, nope, I just can't. It's not doing it. So, like, I want to like them more. I really like being scared, but a lot of them, they just don't do it for me.
Most of them don't actually really scare me, but there's just, I still like it.
The tension,
because I'm like, want to see what's going to happen to the character, but I'm not personally, it's pretty rare that I actually get scared.
Right. Yeah.
But you know what, Colin, I can't find it. Like, I don't even think it's on HBO anymore.
It was on there. They have their expiration, so I think it's off. So I think it's going to come back at some point.
Okay.
Here, *Malignant* is cool.
It's certainly available different places.
Was there any horror movie of '99?
Well, there
Was
there were horror
I
movies.
don't even know if we watched a horror movie from '99. Have we watched them?
Well, Sixth Sense could.
Sort of, I
Do you
guess.
really
because
consider
it
that a
does.
horror movie?
That made me. I don't know. I mean, I think so. I don't know. I've said this before too. I don't like things that disturb me. I like being scared. You know, I don't like being like, wow, that guy will kill people and he doesn't care. Like that guy likes killing people. That's not. I don't want to be disturbed. I like monsters chasing me kind of thing.
Mm.
So that's a different. A lot of
Okay,
horror.
yeah, Blair Witch.
Horror. That's where the horror is. Isn't this disturbing? And it's like, yeah, that's. I don't want to see it.
They, you know, in
Yeah.
all honesty, horror movies just don't scare me. So that means something's wrong. If it
Well,
just-
they don't scare a lot of people. But some people just don't like them because they don't like the gore and the imagery
Yeah,
and the
that-
disturbing
well-
subject matter.
And I guess my question is, when it comes to horror films, what do you think that when it comes to horror films being scary, do you think that can be subjective? Does it have anything to do with like specific fears that we might individually have, or does it speak to just maybe how the genre is not really
I think
isn't
it's
affected
more-
as far as like gamers?
I mean, for
I
sure,
think-
it's specific.
I think it's more.
It's some to some extent, for sure. It's specific.
I would think
It's
it's more
subjective.
scary to see more like a realistic side of horror.
Well,
I think that would be more scary than anything.
so I think it's subjective because some people are really afraid of like The Exorcist is commonly mentioned as the scariest movie, you know, because it's
Yeah,
about
no,
possession and satanic or the devil and demons and stuff like that. But that didn't really scare me. As
Right.
far as that, like a supernatural horror doesn't really scare me too much. But
Well, unless you
human-based
believe
horror,
in all that, though.
well, I
Because
know.
there have
I
been
mean,
cases of possession, but
according to some people, but what I'm saying is some people are scared by that more than they're scared by, let's say, a Friday the 13th, Jason Voorhees, or Michael
he's a
Myers.
killer.
But for me, Michael Myers scares me when he's human, you know, because like he's a human-based horror scares me more than anything.
Or like
You know,
Texas
like-
Chainsaw Massacre. I mean,
That
he-
was disturbing.
I mean, that's kind of based somewhat on a true event. Even Psycho too.
Oh yeah.
Based on or inspired by real serial
Psycho is
killers.
based on a specific. Okay, they're all the same story of a real thing that happened. It's a Psycho went in a direction with what happened with like the real guy. He had this attachment to his mom. That's where Psycho
Ed
came.
Gein.
The Texas.
Yeah, that I
Chainsaw-
could not remember his name.
Yeah,
Ed
Texas
Gein.
Chainsaw Massacre is what he did to some victims. That was that side of it.
It was
You know,
actually about
you mean like-
veganism.
Taking their skin? Is that what you mean?
I don't know.
Arturo?
Like it's unclear if he used a chainsaw or anything. I just know he did.
I thought he took their skin.
He might.
Yeah, he
have.
took their
I
skin
think
and
he
made
was-
furniture and everything out of it.
Yeah,
I think
But,
isn't it?
yeah.
I believe I read about that dude. Like he was pretty much retarded, and like he wasn't as much of a killer. I think he may have killed a couple people, but he was more like really mentally disturbed. He wasn't
So-
going around like you know.
Yeah,
like,
no.
It was.
Yeah.
He was more like a real dumb simpleton that ended up killing a couple people and doing creepy shit with skin. But he
Oh,
was
I didn't realize that.
more like. Yeah, I
'Cause
don't
I'm thinking
know.
he's like a Ted Bundy, you know, or
Yeah,
Jeffrey
no,
Dahmer
he
type.
was like,
But
no,
the Texas
I think he
Chainsaw
was
Massacre.
almost retarded, and he lived out kind of on his own on a farm where he was just able to. He was smart enough to get away with a couple little murders, just a couple
Oh,
little
wow.
ones. But he wasn't like a plotting serial killer type.
Okay.
No,
Or as I
like
know,
the Texas
from what little I've
Chainsaw,
read, if I remember correctly.
Okay.
Texas Chainsaw Massacre was more of them being like cannibals, I think.
Yeah, that movie. I mean, that was more like they were
Right.
wild and out killing people.
I mean that is scary. A killer with a chainsaw chasing after you. I mean that's scary.
He was
but
almost comedic though at the
comedic
end,
at the
y'all.
same time.
when he's
Yeah.
waving that chainsaw around.
Oh, at the
And I
very
said
ending-
it was
ending
actually
of
about
that.
veganism. It was about the processed meats industry. It was a Toby Hooper he was
That
a
was-
vegan, and he wanted to sort of show what we were doing to the animals by showing But we do the animals instead of
okay.
humans. That's why you get the meat hooks now.
Okay.
Oh.
I thought you were just making a Simon Snark or something. So that's why I laughed at the first. At first, so I just thought you were just throwing. I did not realize that. That's interesting.
Well,
Okay.
yeah, but
But yeah, I think all horror reflects the fears of the time,
Mm-hmm.
Oh, definitely.
I
pretty much.
think the iconic scene from the Texas Chainsaw Massacre was probably the ending where he's kind of like, even after he got hurt by accident with his own chainsaw. Spoiler alert.
Oh, I forgot he did.
And he's just it, like, so she got in a truck. She got in one of the cars, like pulled up, saved her, and they're driving off. And you know, his one of the other guys got killed by the truck. But after all that, he's still like swinging his like chainsaw around, just kind of doing like these sort of walking around motions. He was just lunatic.
Yeah.
It was crazy.
Yeah.
And that's kind of how it just ends, which is like, oh, okay.
Okay. Okay.
I mean, at least someone lived, but still.
Yeah. Yeah. So I agree with what Chris said here in responding to what you raised, Dee, about how it being subjective. Yeah, many fears that people have. Yep. It's true.
Yeah, because I was going to say, for me, a big part of, well, a specific thing that I find that is scary, because House on Haunted Hill, I mean, there are a lot of aspects of that was scary anyway, but the scariest part of that entire film to me is when Jeffrey Rush's character gets locked inside, I want to say, I mean, the entire thing is an insane asylum, but it was like this machine. I can't remember what it was called, but it basically was to somehow, I think we know that insane asylums were not good at curing people of any mental illness or anything like that. So mostly it caused it to become worse. And it was this machine that had these panels of these images, and it started to move in circles. And all of a sudden, as he is looking at these images become like this breathing, living image that's laughing and cackling with this weird like clicking noise underneath, and then it completely takes him inside of this nightmarish vision of the insane asylum and people spitting blood and these creatures like their faces like splitting and flashing, and the doctor and the nurses, like, it's extremely disturbing. And I think that was my first time seeing anything that kind of depicted what insanity looked like on the inside of that. So I think part of my thing with being scared is just kind of like just the unconscious mind and a lot of the imagery and just kind of getting lost in that. Same thing with like The Cell and things like that. That movie.
All right.
The Cell was really trippy. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's been a long time since I watched that one.
What's okay? I get that one confused with. Wait, The Cell is the one with Jennifer Lopez.
Mhm.
Yeah. I actually like that one. That movie. When I saw it, I thought it was pretty interesting. And then there was a movie that I saw not terribly long ago that reminded me a lot of The Cell. But now I can't remember what that movie was. Someone had to go inside subconscious.
I like movies that are really visually framed in a way that even if the story is bad or pointless, which I don't know, I don't remember enough of The Cell story to judge the story. I just remember it visually, movies that you can just like pause it at any point and be like, that's kind of cool looking. You know, like
there were some cool shots in there.
I like movies like that.
Wait, of what?
It felt like an artistic horror movie in some ways.
Very.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Wait, of what?
What
movie?
Of the Cell or Cell. It's about this serial killer, and he's like in a coma or he's unconscious, and they're trying to find out like where his victim is or something.
His last victim, yeah.
Yeah, his last victim. And so she's like this agent, FBI or some detective or whatever, and they have this technology where she can go into his unconscious or subconscious mind and try to connect with him and figure out where to find his victim. It was pretty
crazy art house vision.
And a lot of disturbing imagery for sure. Like, especially, I think one that disturbed me the most was like when he was hanging on hooks.
You can pretty much just watch the trailer for it, and you'll get a sense for like, oh, I see what they're talking about. Like,
yeah.
Yeah,
But
and
it
I didn't
was
realize
worth
that
watching.
until I got older that the hook thing was his fetish. Like he
Yeah.
I can't go into detail
I
because
knew
what
it.
he's doing when he's on the hooks and what's beneath him. I can't get into that. But I
I
realized
forgot
that
what was beneath.
a
remember.
intimate moment. I was like, oh, that's that.
Man,
Yeah.
okay. Man, I want to watch that movie now. A lot of these movies, I'm in the mood to watch now.
I feel you would like that, Colin. Let me see if I can.
Oh, I saw The Cell, but I don't remember it at all.
Oh, okay.
I just saw it again. It's been 20 years now. So
It's been a
The
good
Cell
while.
and The Fall are that director's super artistic movies.
The Fall.
The Fall, yeah.
The Fall.
Yes, he did direct The Fall. Mm-hmm. That's
Hold on, that sounds
visually
familiar.
directed.
Oh, wait. Wait. That's not that TV show, right?
Oh
No, it's a
no,
movie.
that's different.
Okay, hold on. You say The Fall. I can't find. Oh, is that 2005?
Yeah, but that
We're
2005,
jumping a
2006.
few years ahead.
I'm sorry. Well, we're getting distracted because we're talking about the director, and I'm trying to remember if I've ever seen this.
We'll
No,
get
I
to
haven't.
2005 eventually.
Oh, I recognize the poster,
Yeah.
and I think I started to watch
Really
it,
good. Yeah.
but the way it got started, I was like, this looks kind of, I don't know, boring. So I never finished it.
You get bored, and when you
really
get
good.
bored, you start staring out windows.
Carrying out windows. Okay. I'll have to. Maybe I'll
I gotta
check this one
rewatch
out.
that movie too. I think it was interesting. It's really different.
It is
Arturelia.
different for sure. Yeah. Okay. The Fall. Oh, okay. So maybe that was where I started watching it, Tim. See, there's this 007, y'all. That might be where I started to watch it, and then for whatever reason, I didn't finish it. So Lee Pace. Who is Lee Pace? Oh, one of the actors. Okay.
Are we going to do our top 3, 4, 5, or a little bit of both?
Oh, that guy. I recognize him. Sorry, I'm distracted by the actor.
'Cause
Well, I'm ready to tell my top 3. I've got them already.
It's going to be tough. There's a few here.
Oh.
Oh boy, here
Who
we
wants
go.
to go first?
It's the final countdown.
I got my 3.
You got your 3? You do have them now, Colin?
Yeah, and there could be a lot. There's a lot of good movies. I think the top 2 are locked, and I already mentioned them. So the third one could go a lot, and I kind of want to give it to a comedy. Could be Office Space, could be Austin Powers 2, but I'm gonna give it to South Park.
South
Great
Park.
movie. I loved it then. I still love it. I love the show, and I think the movie was really funny, just like a supersized episode. And it was real exciting to see as like a musical. Really, it's a musical. There's a lot of songs in it, and the songs are actually catchy and good and funny. Sorry. And then the 2 we already mentioned, Fight Club, the awesome classic, and The Matrix, which would
course.
probably be top 3 of the night of the decade for me. The Matrix would be just
What? Top 3 of the decade? You don't include Terminator 2 in that, Colin.
Uh-oh.
it would be top 10. It's top 10.
I'm teasing you.
It's top 10. You know what? I was thinking about it earlier. I was thinking that like the reasons I like T2 are the same reasons I like The Matrix. I just like The Matrix a little bit more, which is they're kind of like action sci-fi for grown-ups, I guess. And I think they're both really good. I just like Matrix a little more.
I like Matrix, but T2, I don't know. That always wins out. I know this, always the reminder of this one-legged woman.
He's never going to stop.
He wants to wear me down.
It
is still in my list, but I just have not
get
watched
access.
it. I don't know. I'm just not. I'm not in the mood to listen to his sexual escapades about a woman with one leg. So that's why I've kind of stayed away.
I think
Maybe
the
one
best
day.
Part of it is the Christina's reaction. No, the best part of it's him in the story.
Oh, that was when he, because isn't he like on a radio show or something like the podcast?
Tom Segura and his wife Christina P.
Oh, okay.
They podcast a lot these days, and I believe it's on there, and it's funny, but it is just him telling a dirty sex story, and then just
I know.
them being a little shocked by it.
See, okay.
Oh boy, this is gonna be hard.
Okay, so I have my top 3, and
Go
I
for
wasn't
it.
like I said, I wasn't super blown away by 99, but there were.
There's some good movies.
Honestly,
You
I
haven't seen
could
any of
probably.
the fucking movies.
All right,
what?
Simon,
You gotta
What?
watch.
What did Simon say?
That's like
he's getting on my case because
right.
I
You
don't
haven't seen
watch.
any of the movies.
I have
So-
too. Yes, I have. I've seen several movies from '99. I've seen Blair Witch. I've seen Iron Giant. I've seen The Matrix. I've seen Ravenous. I've seen The General's
Green
Daughter.
Mile?
So you've
I
seen.
have not seen The Green Mile.
Which you haven't seen.
I mean, I haven't seen all the movies, but I've seen a
Fight
lot
Club?
of them.
No.
No. All right, y'all make me feel bad. All right, it's fine. So, Sleepy Hollow,
Yeah, Sleepy Hollow is awesome.
Sixth Sense, and The Mummy. Those are my top 3 for '99.
Yeah, the Mummy. Always have a soft spot for the Mummy.
Yeah.
That's a good top.
Fun
3.
film. So
Oh,
yeah,
boy.
that's my list. Now
Sixth Sense, though, I really think like that was one kind of like The Usual Suspects. Those movies that
one and done sort of thing.
not one and done, but it's never as good as
The second time around.
the first.
Yeah.
Even the second time's kind of cool to then see. Oh, I didn't see that, but it is different where it's harder to rewatch again and again. Yeah, because it is once or twice, and
Okay, so something I remember Toni Collette. I'm pretty sure I'm remembering correctly that Toni Collette got an Oscar for her performance in that movie. Is that correct?
Yeah, you did tell me about that.
I'm pretty sure she got.
Pretty sure she did.
At least.
Oh, at least nominated. I thought she was really good in that movie, actually. And especially the scene that always gets me, and is that scene at the end when he's talking to her and he's telling her these things about her mother. Oh my gosh, that just grabs me every single freaking time because it seems so genuine, her acting. Like you felt like that was really how she was. She was just phenomenal.
Well, like they say, British actors are usually better when it comes to acting.
Australian.
She's not a Brit. She's an Aussie.
I thought she was a Brit. Wait, an Aussie?
No, but she's still. But I think Aussie actors fall under the same category in a lot of ways as UK
either
actors.
Ireland, Britain, Scotland.
Yeah,
they usually are
she's
really,
really good.
On the exact opposite side of the world.
Yeah.
You know what's funny is like I'm a terrible judge of acting. Like I just unless they're a terrible actor, I just buy that they are the role, and so it's hard for me to unless like someone points out like, man, that scene must have been hard to act. Like that scene that you just mentioned. And I'm like, wow, that damn, I didn't even question that. But
the emotion that she had to. Oh, it was so genuine. Like just because I could identify in a lot. Like, okay, I haven't lost my mother like her character did in there, but I could understand and identify with the depth of grief that she had and how she acted. Like it was just and just the struggles that she was. I mean, she had she was a single mother and this child who was very troubled. She thought he was troubled. She had no idea what the heck was going on with him. And I could understand her just anguish and fear just over just the, kind of like under like a fear that was just kind of like an undercurrent in her whole life all the time because of she didn't know what was going on with her kid. And I just thought she was really, really, really good in there.
If you want to hear bad voice acting, bad voice acting, listen to Clancy in the Toy Wolf.
Oh, geez, that has nothing to do with it.
It's bad acting.
That's because my dad is not a voice actor.
I'm sorry.
What were you saying, Simon?
I was just going to say, I think one of her best acting performances was in Hereditary.
Oh yeah, I saw that film.
And you didn't like her performance?
Was that worth watching?
Oh yeah.
A lot of people really like it. I'm not one of them.
I'm not even crazy to watch it.
And then, didn't the same guy that did Hereditary do Midsommar?
Yeah.
Not the same guy?
Yeah,
I hate that movie. I hate that movie.
Midsommar was one of those again where it was like more violent, more disturbing than scary. I kept waiting to be scared, and then I was disturbed, and then I was
Well,
annoyed.
it is disturbing.
Well,
was
yeah,
really
because they're like a
annoyed
cultist
when-
group. I mean,
when they jump
Yeah,
off the cliff and they were like, well, I guess we'll just hang out here for a while. And I was like, you guys aren't like leaving right now? Like they're all like,
I know, right?
like that was a weird
It's-
ritual we just watched. We'll see what happens. I'm
Or
like,
I did.
uh,
I'll just hang around. I just
Yeah.
I did not like the main character. She annoyed me so
Yeah.
much, and she there. I didn't like that. I didn't like
Yeah.
it at all. There's so much
well,
I
look,
didn't like
she
about
redeemed that actress redeemed herself in Black Widow.
Yes, she did. She was the best part of Black Widow. But
She was good
anyway.
with Wonder Woman also.
She was also
Oh,
really good in that wrestling movie.
Oh yeah,
Just
she
never
was
got
in that too.
Fighting with my family.
Mm-hmm. She was good in that. That was actually a pretty decent movie, and I'm not into those types, but it was pretty good. I enjoyed it. Yes, she did, Chris. Okay, who wants to go next with our top 3?
I'm still figuring it out. I feel like I might need a cheap. I have to put 4.
Okay, well, Simon or D?
Prestige.
You-
Yeah.
Well, I'm still figuring it out, but since you haven't watched all the movies, I'm just going to annoy you and choose 3 Shakespeare movies.
This is gonna be a thing. This is gonna be a thing now. Simon and Sid.
Well, didn't A Midsummer's Night Dream come out?
Titus, A Midsummer Night's Dream, and 10 Things I Hate About You.
Yes. The Shakespeare.
Okay.
Perspective.
See,
What
Sid,
a great
You
mix
can't
of
appreciate
all-
Shakespeare until you've read him in the original Klingon.
Simon, I will never appreciate Shakespeare. I just never. It's not going to happen. Midsommar.
Okay, so seriously,
Okay.
The Matrix probably is the top,
Yeah.
followed by The Green Mile, and then there's too many.
I might have to watch the
Really? You can't pick a third? Not even Fight Club?
Fight Club. Fight Club.
Yeah, let's go with Fight Club.
Oh, see, I helped you out there.
Woohoo.
Okay.
Matrix.
But
and
Arlington
Fight Club.
Road, Being John Malkovich, Magnolia, Galaxy Quest.
Being John
There's so
Malkovich
many movies.
is really like still to this day one of the most original, different kind of movies. So weird and in a fun, different way, and maybe not fun, but in a cool, interesting way.
I guess would people say they miss the 90s?
Probably. In answer to this
the 90s
question,
were- the 90s in America was almost peak humanity. I mean, we saw some issues.
I mean, games were at its height, movies were at their heights.
I love the 90s. I wish it could always be the 90s.
I do definitely have more appreciation for the 90s after going through a lot of these films as far as the quality of the filmmaking.
Even the
for sure.
video games too.
I have no idea. In answer to this question, I don't know what the meaning behind it is, but I know of the movie and knew enough that it didn't interest me.
I guess what I would say is that it's hard. It's one of those that's very abstract, and walking away from it at the end is kind of like, eh. But I feel like they were trying to get into this whole, the imagery and kind of the facade, and the I don't know, the illusion of these high-powered, rich, wealthy people in New York City, and just kind of these people living these lives. And I think underneath, because there's a whole aspect of that film that deals with like this secret society, something very, very cult-esque and very Illuminati-esque, if you will. And I almost think that maybe somewhere in there they're trying to say something about that and how that's attached to a lot of people who have amassed all this wealth and have this image in society and things like that, and just kind of exposing that there's this dark underbelly underneath all of that, even as far as New York, and I think there's just some depth to that they're trying to explore, I think.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I think I don't know why, but the concept never just didn't interest me, so I never got around. The main thing I remembered about it was that Tom Cruise and Nicole Kidman were in it. That was like their last movie together, I guess, as a couple in general. And Stanley Kubrick, wasn't that his last film? Didn't he die not long after or something?
Yeah.
And the subject matter just didn't seem too interesting. So I never...
Joey Diaz and that one-legged woman were also in it.
No, he wasn't. It was somebody... What?
Oh, man.
I guess you know what he's talking about. Oh, okay, interesting. I don't know that kind of. I don't know. What do you think, Dee? So do you think it means that the secret rich society is satanic?
Like a trailer for Eyes Wide Shut, and it just cuts to Joey Diaz. So.
Picture it, New York '99.
As cut and dry as that, I think it's like I said, it's one of those films where there's a lot of subtext, so you could even go even further into that. It could be you could take that piece of it, but also just the fact that just that you have people who are paying the price, or who have aligned themselves and their lives in a certain way, and now are in a position to have this influence, but also are being influenced by these kind of exterior forces. Because it kind of makes you feel like nothing that you see is quite what it seems, and that's kind of the general theme of it. And even with Tom Cruise's character and his wife, there's something very kind of like off there with their dynamic too. So it has a lot to do with secrets and just kind of like illusions and things like that.
All right. So there you go. Yeah. So you've got a fan, Simon. Hi, Ricardo. How you doing?
Good.
Okay. Who is so Simon has listed his top 3. Are you ready, Arturo?
Yeah, like I said,
and if you're not, maybe Dee is ready.
I've got like 4.
You got 4. Oh, it can be an honorable mention.
Probably. I guess the honorable mention in the 4th place is The Bone Collector.
Okay.
And then number 3, Sleepy Hollow. Number 2, The Boondock Saints. And number 1, The Mummy.
Okay.
Nice.
I'm surprised Matrix isn't on that list.
Like I said, I like it. I'm just not as deep into it like other people.
Yeah. I'm kind of there too.
Reading Joe's
The Bone Collector, is that a Joel Schumacher biography?
No. Are you making a joke?
Simon, don't. Stop.
3,000.
Stop.
Wait, what? What is that a reference to? You say stuff that goes right over my head, and then I feel like a complete idiot because I have no idea.
He's famously claimed to slept with over 3,000 guys.
Yeah. Okay. All right. See?
Did you already talk about End of Days? It's one of my
just a little bit. We did just a little bit.
I remember Joe's description, Eyes Wide Shut. I kind of want to see those. Sounds cool. Where Tom Cruise is just like, oh shit, I'm out of my element. Like, it sounds kind of cool. But I don't know if I don't want to watch orgies and shit too. I
don't know how explicit it gets. I just knew that it
wasn't like too explicit with nudity. I never watched it. I think it came on once, and I watched part of it on like Stars or something. And I was kind of like, maybe something will happen, and it was really slow, and I gave up.
Yeah, it is.
Has Arnold ever done a sex scene?
Yes,
he
has in Conan the Barbarian.
Oh, I have to go back and watch that now.
And he like there was a witch lady, and then there was the main character, the main love interest, and that might be it. Honestly, I don't remember if there were any others.
Realized that it's like, wait, why not? Wasn't that what all the women wanted to see? Like,
so like there's a scene in Total Recall where he's kissing his wife, but it's not like it doesn't like go into more detail. He's just kissing his wife. And
then him and Jamie Lee Curtis have like a sex scene in True Lies. It seems
just like a striptease, but
it's
striptease, but
not a sex scene.
No.
That is such a fun movie. I love that movie.
Like I said, just like Total Recall. Wait, no, not Total Recall. Demolition Man. That I was not expecting either.
That True Lies was so comedic.
Yeah. Did not expect it.
Fun film. Okay, hold on. I'm trying to catch up on the. Wait, okay. End of Days. Yeah, we talked about End of Days. It was an alien abduction film. Can't remember
Fire in the Sky.
He says it was filmed similar to the Blair Witch Project.
I think he's talking about the fifth kind or something, which I think.
Oh, Mila Jovovich.
Mila Jovovich, yeah.
Okay. I'm not sure.
That wasn't 99. That was later.
Yeah, I never saw that movie. The Matrix, Austin Powers, and Office Space. Okay, that's Glenn's. But Glenn, I thought Matrix was 1, 2, and 3. for you. Okay, D, are you ready to list yours? He wants your
Yeah.
Lamentations of the Moon.
I am going to slide in, and this is such a bizarre film, but I really like it for some reason, even with some of the people that are in it. But American Beauty.
American Beauty.
I think that is
Yeah.
such an interesting film to me. The performances and just the story, like it's a very slice of life film, but I find the characters and their dynamic and how dysfunctional everybody is. I think that's a part of the whole look closer theme, like look at this perfect life and then seeing how fractured and dysfunctional and just messed up all these people are. It's a very interesting story, and then how it ends, of course, is extremely shocking as well. You know, it's kind of heralded at the beginning.
Slice of someone's life in particular.
A slice of someone's life in particular? Is that what you said?
Mm.
Simon's on a roll.
Yes, he is. Yes, he is.
Oh, in answer to your question, Bill Bixby. If I could bring him back, I would. Okay. No, I don't think it was dubbed.
What?
He's talking about Arnold.
Oh my gosh! Don't get me started. Now you're putting images in my head.
Okay, sorry. Proceed, D. We get a little bit off track.
Welcome to.
And the question, I'd say Chadwick Boseman. I know that's obvious, but I'm still sad about Chadwick Boseman.
Yeah, that was such a shock. My gosh.
Yeah, that was a thing.
I want to say Patrice O'Neal, but I think really Bruce Lee.
Bruce Lee.
I guess
Okay.
I forgot. I have the poster. I noticed that sometimes, like, oh yeah, I have that poster for all to see. But yeah, I'd go on. But you know, he would have shocked us all many times, I think.
Yeah, his son too. The whole Lee story is just tragic to me.
Yeah, it is.
Okay,
I've seen Pet Cemetery, so I say keep them in the grind. Let them stay there.
Well, yeah, I know, but still, there are so many people that have just been taken far too soon, and
it's unfair.
All right, okay, let's hear what D has to say. Some more of his. From his
I also slide in Talented Mr. Ripley.
Okay.
I enjoy that film. It being set in Italy in maybe 50s or 60s. Just the whole Matt Damon's performance, just the whole progression of that film and the twists and turns of it. I don't even know it was like based on a pre-existing series, which Patricia Highsmith, I believe, is the one who wrote the original novels. But yeah, I just find that film to be so like it's beautifully filmed. I love the locations, I love the cast and the performances and all of that. And it's kind of a film that kind of gets under my skin because it's kind of like the slow revealing of, you know, a sociopath or something worse than that.
Yeah.
And it's a very, I don't know, I just find it a very compelling film overall. And then I would probably close out with Princess Mononoke. Because I had so many, you know, like you can't go wrong with any of his films, but I still remember watching that one. I don't know if I was in high school, maybe it was earlier than that, but I was just blown away by the design, by everything in that film. It was like an experience. And I think films that are like that, where I really just feel like I have to step in something completely, you know, new and innovative, and yeah, it was very beautiful. I love the design and just every aspect of that film. So that probably be one of my number ones.
That's okay. Awesome. That's a Studio Ghibli. I have okay. I've never seen that
saw
one.
Spirited Away like
for the first time.
I think it was on Cartoon Network, but the first time I sat down and watched it, we went with one of my friends to go see it at my movie theater because of
Simon is being bad.
I was gonna say though, D described that movie much better than I tried to, but I agree. It's shot really well, and it's a really unique kind of movie. It's really well done. I think it's a good one.
They're pretty detailed too.
So I was gonna go see Howl's Moving
Howl's
Castle.
Moving Castle because
Yeah,
it's got Christian Bale.
Christian Bale, he's in there. I was wanting to go see that, but that was the night that I got offered to do the paid screening. So I was like, okay, I'm going to cancel. I'm going to, if I can get paid to watch a movie, I'll do that. But I've been interested to watch Howl's Moving Castle. And then I think there's another one, Castle in the Sky, that
I do
Studio
want to see
Ghibli
that,
did.
but I think it's going to conflict with my schedule, sadly.
Because
we didn't bring up Princess Mononoke tonight.
No, we didn't.
I thought we brought it
Well,
up.
we did, but it came out technically 97. So
we must have brought it up in 97. Then it must have came re-released or something.
This was the English dub, I think, is what came out in 99.
Okay.
It's got the girl from.
Talked about it because that would be maybe not a top 3, but like a top 5 probably for me too.
It's got a huge cast, y'all.
Yeah, it's
like
got the girl from X-Files. She played the wolf or something, like the big, like the big wolf.
Okay,
Studio Ghibli tends to
a lot
get people from
well-known names actually. Oh shush. Man, a lot of names. It's got Claire Danes, Minnie Driver, Billy Bob Thornton, Keith David, Jada Pinkett Smith.
Yep.
Jeez, wow.
That's probably my favorite Ghibli, Studio Ghibli movie.
That one?
Mononoke. Yeah.
Is it as out there as we saw Spirited Away, and I like certain aspects of it for sure.
It's out there. I think Spirited Away was almost too out there for me.
It was a little weird,
it is weird. Like you have to take
the witch with the big head. I couldn't get it, and then that big swamp monster thing. It's like, what the heck?
Yeah, like you gotta take Studio Ghibli's films.
I think
how you go in knowing that some of this stuff is a little weird.
I think Moving Castle is probably my second favorite, and it was a little more. I think Mononoke and Moving Castle are a lot easier to follow than Spirited Away.
Oh, okay.
While still having crazy weirdness about them, but it's like weirdness you can follow, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
Well, what's the premise of Princess Mononoke?
It has to do with this forest, spiritual forest with animals and stuff, and it's kind of also between that and then the industrial sort of revolution thing where they're just kind of like destroying their forests, stuff like that. But there's more like where the guy's infected with something and he's got to go somewhere. I'm not entirely. It's been what, like 2 years since I've seen it. Some details are a little foggy, but it has something to do with him going. He runs into like this girl that's with that big wolf. I think she's some princess or something.
And it also is kind of dealing with that aspect of the forest. It is also dealing like with the gods who kind of have dominion over the forest.
Yeah.
Massive conflict between them and these humans who are trying to, of course, destroy the forest and colonize and do all these things. And it's what happens when he and kind of the unlikely leader or representative there, when they kind of clash, and then as this massive battle is kind of going on in the midst of that.
Okay, I'm gonna check that out.
Cool.
I will say, Spirited Away for a 20-year-old film still holds up, I think.
Yeah, the animation for sure. I don't think Princess Mononoke is coming to the theater, is it, Arturo?
It already had before.
It's not coming with this current batch of Studio Ghibli.
No, it's not.
I was gonna say, if I technically, because I tried to go off, I think it was the I guess the English dub that came out. But I was gonna say, if that technically counts as 1997, then I would throw in the Green Mile.
Okay, the Green Mile. Yeah, because there was a Lock, Stock, and Two Smoking Barrels or whatever that really officially came out in '98, but didn't come out here until '99. So I didn't really take the time to watch it as a '99 movie. So
right.
Okay.
Do we want to go into the shows that came out in '99?
Oh geez. Yeah, I have them pulled up. There's
Well, I know there's one, Mom, that you have watched, The Big O.
Oh, we're getting into anime.
Here
we go. So I didn't realize The Sopranos started in '99.
Oh, I didn't either.
What was?
Sopranos.
Oh wow! You know, I never watched Sopranos.
Me either, but I knew of it because it got talked about a lot.
Yeah. I'll be right back.
Okay.
But yeah, Big O was one that you watched.
I have seen that. Just the first
First
season.
season, 99.
Oh, Family
Probably
Guy
like-
came out in 99, y'all.
Yeah, Family Guy
Oh.
came out in 99. There was something. One
One
Piece
Piece?
came out in 99. Some
The West
few other
Wing?
animes that came out. Oh, Batman Beyond came out in 99. SpongeBob started in 99.
Really?
Yep.
Okay. Futurama. Well, there's several actually that
Futurama.
Roswell. Farscape. Someone mentioned Farscape in the
Oh, I remember
in
Farscape.
the- I started that. I got about 2 or 3 seasons into it,
Oh.
but never finished.
Law and Order.
Yeah, I
Special
think that's
Victims.
the Special Victims Unit. Yeah, that thing is still going on.
It
Yeah.
is.
Yeah, The Sopranos. Third Watch.
Oh, Courage the Cowardly Dog
Ed, Edd n Eddy.
came out in
And-
90.
It's I don't know. Little Bill started this year, but
Oh,
not
Relic
after all the
Hunter.
stuff that
Okay.
happened with Bill Cosby.
Oh, I know.
See, like that, he tainted all that. Goodness.
I think Batman Beyond came out that year too.
What's that?
I think Batman Beyond came out that year too.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I
that's what he had mentioned. I've never
The-
seen that entire show. I remember
Amanda
liking. Say what?
the Amanda Show.
Oh.
started that year.
I was still thinking about Batman.
Yeah, back to Batman Beyond.
Oh, Hunter x Hunter.
Oh, did that start in '99?
Oh, and the original Ugly Betty, which
Sonic-
Oh,
was Yo Soy Betty La Fea.
yeah.
Power Rangers: Lost Galaxy.
There are also 2 comedy movies that served as the precursors to the big movements in comedy later in the 2000s, which would be Freaks and Geeks, that whole
Oh.
Judd Apatow
Yeah.
thing, and
Mhm.
Spaced with Simon Pegg, Edgar Wright, and all that kind of stuff.
What was that one called? That other one?
Oh, it's a British show, Spaced.
Spaced?
Spaced. Yeah.
Spaced. Oh wait, I think I see that. Yeah, Spaced.
Oh. Okay. Oh, okay. Simon
Crest
Pegg.
of the
he's-
Stars.
No, a lot of these I haven't. I mean, I know of them, but I haven't really watched them. I don't get as super excited about the series as I do about movies. I don't know why. Probably because series shows they require a commitment, and I don't always.
Yeah,
I don't always go all the way through with that commitment.
Roswell.
Lock, Stock, and Two Smoking Barrels is funny as feck if you get the humor behind it. Well, I've seen Snatch, and of course A Gentleman.
Gentlemen,
and
then
I
Rascal.
like Guy Ritchie stuff. He's definitely grown on me, and I do want to see Lock, Stock. And I think that was the first. I think that was the first movie with Jason Statham in it. I believe. I think that's what my brother said. That was like
Somebody
his
heard of the
start.
Roswell show.
Yes. I think
That has to do with that UFO
Yeah.
thing, right?
Yeah, Courage the Cowardly Dogs from '99. I really liked that. It's weird because it has a funky art style that is not really my favorite, but there's something about the visuals in that
They
show
are
that was so
gruesome.
weird. Like it was just really strange, and it had this weird eerie vibe to it.
Oh yeah.
But there was something about it. I liked it, and that old man, and he was always like, "Stupid dog, you
Stupid
make
dog,
me
you
look
make
bad."
me look bad. Yeah. And then the guy
have not
the
seen
guy with the
this.
sunglasses, watch where you're going, you fool. All the time.
I haven't seen the movie with Scooby Doo though. You know, Courage
Oh,
and
yeah.
Scooby, they're having a crossover.
Oh, anybody heard of
Seen that yet.
Has anybody heard of home movies? Like, this used to
Oh,
play.
I loved home movies. That was my introduction to H. John Benjamin, Coach McGurk. So funny. Coach McGurk,
remember.
so funny.
I remember that. I have to
Oh,
look it
no.
up.
Okay.
Home
There's
movies.
some animes here that I would like to check out at some point. They
Yeah,
got
I don't
that-
know if it was home movies, but I do remember when Courage the Cowardly Dog started out as like a cartoon short, and it was the duck with the spotted, like the red spotted eggs, and it started out like its own like cartoon short initially, and then it became a series after that.
Oh shit! So I just pulled up 1999 TV, and one of my top 10 favorite shows started.
Okay, which one?
I would place it above South Park and The Simpsons. For me, Family Guy. I love.
Oh, yeah.
It's got to be top.
I mentioned that. Yeah, that was one of the ones I don't really watch that, but I know it's got quite the following. A lot of people really like that.
I'd say I've watched every episode at least twice. Probably a lot of them a lot more than twice.
They keep re-airing that thing. Like
It's still on, right?
It's more like
New
rerun.
episode was last Sunday, two nights ago. New episode I just watched. I watched when the new for 20 years I've been on that show. It just I know it's got a lot of dumb jokes and bad jokes for sure, but every episode makes me laugh. And I think Peter Griffin is one of my favorite characters. I think
funny.
He's so funny because he's so unpredictable. He can go from just like he acts like a child all the time, but sometimes he'll act real sophisticated, and it's just you have no idea where it's gonna go, and the cutaways, and it's got lots of bad jokes, sure, but it makes me laugh. For 20 years, I think it's just really funny. I think Seth MacFarlane deserves a lot of credit. I think he's really funny. I think it's his delivery of the lines. I mean, Peter's the funniest, and then Stewie and Bryant, and they're probably the next funniest to me. And it's all like his delivery really brings a lot to that humor.
Who was the baby? The one who was standing by? Okay, the mother's bed, and he was going, "Mommy, mommy,
mommy, mama, mama, mommy, mommy, mommy." Yeah, that's that show for you.
And what was it he said when she finally responded to him?
He's like, "What?" And he's like, "I love you." And then he
yeah.
The Family Guy Star Wars spoof.
Oh yeah.
No,
what about the couch? That one.
I'm taking
the couch out of that place where they, in the movie, the trash compactor area.
My friends, we say, "Don't get penisy, kid." So don't get cocky. Don't get penisy, kid.
Oh, but, I saw the Norm in the list, but I didn't realize that actually starred Norm Macdonald.
I'm actually working on. I love comedy and TV comedy. I've been kind of formulating my top 5, top 10 all-time comedies, and I'm like Family Guy has to be top 10. It's not quite top 5, but I wouldn't feel right if it wasn't top 10 all time.
There was like a clip of Family. There was, I think this was from Family Guy, and he was. I don't know if it was the aha one, and he was in like the refrigerator
his son goes
section.
into like like they're in a grocery store. And he ends up in like the aha. Yeah.
Right, and then he breaks out of the refrigerator section or something. Yeah.
And she's like, "Where have you been?" And he's like, "I don't know."
Yeah. Yeah, someone sent that to me because they know how much I love aha. That's funny.
But yeah, Batman Beyond started that year. It's kind of got more of a darker. Don't you think it's got more of a darker tone because of the future?
Oh yeah.
I really would like to watch. I would like to pick up with that show actually.
I remember when I watched. I think what was it, the first 2 episodes or something, or at least maybe the first one, and he's trying on the bat suit, and it's got more of a new, like a. Would you say it's kind of more of a noir type show? I mean, I know the original really
more than the original.
Well, I don't know. Maybe more of a modern noir.
Yeah, it's kind of slightly futuristic noir.
Yeah, futuristic noir. That's a good way.
And Big O is kind of like a combination between Batman and James Bond, except for big robots.
Well, this one made me feel old. Happy Tree Friends started in '99.
Happy Tree Friends?
Mm-hmm.
I never saw that.
What's that?
No. It's a web series.
Hmm.
It's like this sort of cute cast of cartoon characters, and they all die horrible deaths every episode.
Oh my god.
Oh,
okay.
Like someone I definitely would have heard of.
That sounds sweet.
Digimon started in 1999. I was hooked on that one for a while. Yeah.
Wow, I'm not. What was it? An internet series, Simon?
Yeah, I just Google Happy Tree Friends.
Well, I mean, is that what it aired on originally? It was an
I
internet
think so. Yeah.
web series. That might have been. I didn't keep up with the internet going on for a long time, but I missed that.
Is this a spammer?
Yep, it is.
Also, I just
Block.
noticed a Futurama started in
99?
which is another solid
Mhm.
animated comedy.
Futurama.
Yeah, it's a good one.
Beastmaster. I think that might have been
I can't even block this unless you did it
Yeah,
already.
I know I tried. Did you try to block it as well?
Yeah, I try to block him. Stop spamming us. Go away
Well,
now.
I don't know. So I think Beastmaster might have been a show based on the movie Beastmaster, which was Mark Singer in that. I can't remember.
Mm-hmm.
I saw it once.
You know, another good show I just saw here, Spaced, with Simon Pegg and Nick Frost.
That's what Simon was talking about
I mean, you
earlier.
mentioned that. I missed that. That's a good one. Yeah, I just watched that just a couple years ago. My dad has the DVD set, and we watched it, and I was like, man, this is good. That's another one I never knew about till recently.
No, I had never heard of it.
I like those two together, Simon Pegg.
Oh, jeez.
Does anyone remember the Eddie Murphy? I guess it was stop motion animation, the PJs.
Oh, PJs. Oh my gosh. Yes, I do.
Oh, that's Eddie Murphy.
Oh,
Yes.
Oh, that was stop motion. Oh, yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Gosh, that was only 2 years though.
Yeah.
All movies was good. That was a good for H. John Benjamin. It's almost one of those where it's like the stuff without Coach McGurk is like, yeah, it's a little hit or miss, maybe not always that great, but you could almost just put on YouTube best of Coach McGurk from all movies, and he was one of those where whenever he was in the show, I feel like it was really funny.
So there was a show that came out in '99. I remember it only lasted one season, and I was really disappointed that it didn't pick up again. But it had this interesting concept. It was called Now and Again, and it was about this. Okay, so John Goodman is this married guy, and he gets in some sort of accident. Maybe like a train hits his car or something. And for whatever reason, I don't even remember why they did this with him, but they took his brain or his subconscious maybe, or his memories or whatever, and put it inside the body of this younger guy.
Mm-hmm.
And so the younger guy, he's John Goodman on the inside, but he doesn't look like John Goodman at all on the outside. And he starts to befriend and get close to his family, who they have no clue who he is. And it's some sort of program or whatever that they put him in. He's not supposed to tell them who he is or anything like that. But this is the very first time I ever saw Dennis Haysbert, because he was one of the guys that was like in charge of the program, like making sure that the dude behaved. I thought the concept was so cool and interesting, and it ended on a freaking cliffhanger. And I just remember, so like in the end, he does reveal to his wife and his child that I'm really your dad, you know, I'm really your husband, and so he runs off with them. And then of course Dennis Haysbert comes looking for him, busts in the house to come after him because he's done something he's not supposed to do. And then it's like it ends, and we never find out what happened. So I enjoyed that, but I always remember Dennis Haysbert from there.
Well,
I wonder if it inspired even subconsciously Jordan Peele when he was writing Get Out, because it sounds a lot like it.
Here we go again.
You know, I have seen other movies with that concept. The movie Criminal with Gal Gadot and who played her? Ryan Reynolds? Was it Ryan Reynolds and Kevin Costner? And they do that thing where they put the. Oh, I thought it was actually pretty. I enjoyed that movie, but it was basically they take the subconscious of this guy and put them in. I can't remember. Like it's that sort of concept. But I've seen stuff like that before.
I was wanting to conclude. What do you guys think about 1999 as a whole?
Can I interrupt real quick? I'm so excited. I just saw some breaking news from February this year. And
what?
It's,
breaking news from February? Okay.
1999?
Or a book series I love, which I got on this. I saw they made an animated show of Redwall, which is a book series I love. I don't know if you guys know Redwall. It's like animals that go on adventures. And I guess I just saw they made an animated show in '99. It lasted like 2 years. And I was like, oh, so I was Googling how to watch that. And then I saw they just announced Netflix is making a new animated series and movie based on Redwall. So mark your calendars because it's going to be awesome. The Redwall is awesome, you guys. It's this dude. He's a great author, and they're kind of like they're family friendly, but it's great. Actually, my mom for dinner tonight, my mom bought this Redwall book because they're always making feasts in Redwall. Like,
oh my goodness!
And she bought a Redwall cooking book, and we had a Redwall meal for dinner.
Oh, that's funny. This is timely then. But you said this is news from February.
Yes, they announced it in February. I just saw that.
So it's not out yet? When is it supposed to come out?
I don't know. I didn't get that far. I just read the headline.
Oh, okay. You're real excited about it, though.
That's enough for me. I'm like, yeah, Redwall's awesome. It should be good.
Yeah, I enjoy the mice. Those are good books.
The one with the mice, yeah, the mice and otters.
Are there any rats in it? Because that's how to get so interested.
And rats are the bad guys. Yeah, they fight rats.
Aww.
Oh man, I'm sorry, San. Oh, no, I don't like this. See, the
rats are the good guys in The Secret of NIMH, except some of them are bad.
No, you're right. It's the mice kill the rat. The rats kill the mice, so the mice kill the rats to defend themselves.
The mice can actually kill the rats in this? Because rats are big.
It's a family show, but every book, it's a new adventure, and one or two of the good guys die in the battles. I've never heard of that. It's interesting. Okay. We've read the whole series a couple times. We have all the books. They're great.
Yeah, I enjoyed it too when I used to read it when I was younger. Yeah, it was really enjoyable.
Cool, man. Yeah.
So
I don't know if this is a serious question, but I just thought this comment was crazy. Did you see it?
One of you, what's your favorite movie of all time? My favorite movies are the ones that bring people closer together. That's why the human. Okay, no.
Yeah.
Stop.
No, Gavin, it wasn't you. It was not you. It was somebody else. It wasn't you.
About that movie getting made insulted me. I was like, Jesus Christ, what is our society?
No, it's so crazy. Is it okay? I don't know what that.
I would like to say my favorite movie of all time, though.
Yeah.
That's really hard.
What is your favorite?
It's really hard, but I just to answer the question, I've had the same answer for a while. It's City of God. I don't know if anyone's seen it.
Yeah, okay.
I love that movie. And
wait.
I've loved it for a long time. It came out in I think I first saw it in 2004. It was playing at like a local independent theater.
Who's in that again?
It's a Brazilian movie. No one famous is in it.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I remember you mentioned that. I get that confused with.
Probably did.
There's something about something of men.
Children of Men.
Children of Men, right? Okay. For some reason, I get that confused with City of God. I don't know why. They're not even closely. They're not even similar.
There's a similar feeling, I think.
Is it? Okay.
I would say, yeah, it's religious kind of. Children of Men sounds religious. City of God, yeah.
Yeah. Okay, maybe that was why.
But yeah, so
Arrival.
Arrival.
What's that?
Mm-hmm. At least
really the one with the recent one with Amy Adams.
Yep.
Oh, nice. Yeah, that movie was really good.
Arrival was great.
I want that one again.
Mm-hmm.
That's really cool. Yeah,
it was good.
Dennis, however you say it,
Denis
Villeneuve.
Denis Villeneuve. Okay. Denis. I'll just call him Denis.
Or Dennis Villeneuve.
Dennis Villeneuve. Yes, I've heard people pronounce his name that way.
He's awesome, man. Because Arrival, Blade Runner, Dune is like he's knocked him out of the park every time. Like he's, like Christopher Nolan style, where like this dude doesn't mess around.
I think he also did Sicario.
Yeah.
Right?
Infinity. Yeah, that was a good movie too.
I love that movie.
Yeah.
And I didn't think I would like it, but I love Benicio del Toro in there. He was so just like, I haven't seen the second one yet though. Yeah, I heard it didn't look like it was going to be as good, but anyway.
Oh, speaking of Dune, I saw this. It's on my stand. It's my dad's original Dune. The cover's fallen off. I'm reading
wow.
So I couldn't stop thinking about the movie, so I'm borrowing the book and rereading.
Have you ever read the books?
It's my third time, and I feel like I get more out of it every time. As a teenager, I was like, there's not enough action. And then like 10 years ago, I was like, oh, this shit's cool. And now I'm just like, damn, this is one of the best books. Like, I'm 130 pages in it, or 150, 60. And I feel like, man, they could have made a movie just out of like, there's so much they had to leave out of the movie. So much
Yeah.
stuff where that it could easily be a 10-hour series, easy. It's so good. It's just rich with stuff.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to the conclusion. I'm not super into Dune. I enjoyed the movie, but I wasn't like gaga over it, but it was beautiful. But I do want to see the follow-up. So I'm glad to see that it was announced that they actually are going to.
Yeah.
That's good.
I'm hoping that, it leads to them doing, maybe another one or a TV series of a sequel or something.
Oh,
Although-
you mean like beyond
Well,
this?
The part 2 has been confirmed.
Yeah,
Part two has been- yeah.
yeah.
But I was thinking
And
of,
that was confirmed early on too.
And there is a Ben and Gesserit TV show coming out.
that's what I heard,
Okay.
something like that, or I'm hoping that more projects come. Because I think the first book is, never really is better. I think the fourth book, personally, I like a little more, but the first book's kind of the most classic. So it's not like, wait till I get to the, they can't, I feel like it'd be cool if they explore other shit, like
How many books are in the series?
Well, there's 6 that
Okay,
the original author wrote, and then he died, so he's kind of unfinished. He was going to write one.
Oh,
Then
I was going to ask.
his son and another dude took over, and they suck. It's trash. Don't read anything. It's like,
Jeez, that's too
Yeah.
bad.
just to resolve the series, and I was like, oh,
Hmm.
they're bad. They're
Yeah,
this dude by doing this.
I was going to ask if things got resolved, and so it sounds like it did not really. Well, I'm not counting.
Satisfying way. I mean,
Yeah.
I think honestly, if the dude was gonna resolve it with that ending, he probably could have done a better story. But it almost felt like, I don't know, he didn't need to keep writing the story. It was just for fun. Honestly, it's like, yeah, I can keep doing this shit. But the first one had all the shit, and it's almost like the more you try to explain all and make details out of it, it kind of takes away some of the grandeur, I guess.
Mm. I don't know that I'll ever get into that series, but if I do, it would be through audiobook. Yeah, it's nasty. It's nasty. I've just seen images, and I don't want to. You put that in my brain again, and it's not.
I was
something I'll
going
like
to
think-
say, I guess to
That's-
conclude 99, what do you guys think of the year 1999?
I know how Simon feels about it.
Mhm.
He loves it. It's like his favorite in the 90s.
I do think it is an awesome year. I think it maybe doesn't have as many favorite movies like Matrix and Fight Club, and then some really great comedies. But it does have a lot of variety and a lot of good variety and a lot of originality and creativity and a lot of good movies. So yeah, and as well as classic blockbuster shit like The Mummy, and
Yeah.
Like
So,
the Mummy brought back this fun adventure style, sort of Indiana Jones-ish type adventure. That's what it felt like to me. Like, oh, it's kind of like reviving that sort of genre. And then, of course, The Matrix, sci-fi and great visual effects and everything.
it's not my personal favorite year, but it's probably top 3.
Okay.
Yeah.
As a whole, this has been a pretty long journey with the 90s, but as a whole, this decade's been really fun.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I
I agree.
enjoyed it more than I thought.
Now
I
that we've gone over everything, would you prefer the 90s or the 80s?
See, now that's tough. We got through a lot of the 80s, which had a lot of great things. Then the 90s come just a lot of, I guess, technical advances. A lot of things got better.
Yeah, it feels like
Films,
the
things.
90s still had the originality of the 80s, but that the technique got better.
Yeah.
So it's hard to pick, Simon. What would you pick?
It's hard. I would
I'm in
say.
2 minds. My heart lies with the 80s, but I think objectively, you'd probably have to say the 90s just in terms of filmmaking.
Yeah.
Yeah, I agree.
I get it. I we know Corey, if he were here, Corey would pick the 80s.
Well,
But-
yeah, obvious. I mean, look, I respect the 80s. After going through all the movies from the 80s, some stuff I hadn't even watched. Really respect the originality. And then the 90s, like a ton more of originality. I kind of miss these days of I miss those days of when things were fresh, new storytelling, and nowadays it's kind of just typical.
It doesn't. Yeah, it's not
typical
quite
writing,
as-
typical this. You know,
I mean, every
and-
once in a while we get some bright spots. Like
Yeah.
you're going to see Last Night in Soho tomorrow. I think you're going to
I do
enjoy
wanna see
that. Yeah.
Yeah, like we get those here and there. It's just I don't know. I feel like the 2000s to the mid 2010s was like sort of the last point where you had a lot of good originality, but then by 15,
That's like a lot of reboots and
like so. For example, the
Yeah.
Star Wars sequels, the Jurassic Park sequels, and it just kept coming. Then you had the remakes coming. It's like you can't do anything original anymore. You know?
yeah, it does feel like they're kind of, I don't know.
I get the impression that in the 80s, all the executives, the one making the decisions, were all on drugs. The 90s, they started to sober up, and by the 2000s, everyone was clean.
Then it started to get like boring and safe, right?
Exactly.
Well, the 2000s had a lot of good movies too.
Yeah, Dark City.
I think so. I think were you guys gonna do a 2000s best of?
So
Well,
Simon and
Simon
I
wanted to-
talked about
yeah.
that. Yeah, he's cool with continuing. Joe had already said that he would probably bow out of that discussion because he was busy in his college, phase of life at that time, and so he said he didn't really watch a lot of movies. But I'm fine with continuing if you guys want to. And D, obviously,
I would like
you're more than welcome if you've seen a lot of films from the 2000s, or like it'd be 2000 to 2009.
Yeah.
So we can pick up with that.
I would
Got
like
some
to.
stuff to watch.
I've seen that was
definitely.
probably my peak film years because I think like,
2000. Okay.
yeah, 2009 because it was like 15 through 24, so it was really like I wanted to watch everything,
Yeah.
Definitely saying.
Yeah.
And then by like 2010, the part of it, like you're saying, I feel like there was kind of, I don't know, I don't know if it was me feeling like I'd already seen a bunch and I didn't want to, or there was just less interest, or it was kind of both.
It was just more. See, like back then, when I was seeing these movies in 15, I had really not much sense about all that until I look back at it now. Like I recently rewatched Jurassic World, and I'm thinking to myself, at the time I liked it, but now it's decent, but it's nothing compared to the first one. It's just
I agree.
this action blockbuster that, like that's how I was feeling. I mean, it was the same with me. I like with Force Awakens. I liked that at the time. Looking back at it, it's kind of the same thing.
The spark is
First
just not there.
hour of Force Awakens is cool, and I stand by it. I said all
Stand by
of
it.
Like the
All right.
second half of it and the rest of the other, following movies, they're terrible. And maybe the second half of Force Awakens isn't terrible. It just I didn't care. But I love the first half of that movie. I was like, they're doing it. They're making Star Wars cool again. Because I thought the prequels
Yeah.
sucked. And then-
Oh my gosh.
I think the new trilogy sucked. But man, it was cool for a second.
Well,
Yeah, for a
that's
hot
what I
minute.
was hoping was going to happen. They did. I mean, I thought they did all right. Okay, and Rogue
Well, I still
One.
like Rogue One.
I like Rogue One. That one's still
Me
my
too.
favorite.
Absolutely.
Dude, I think
But-
Mandalorian is the best thing since the original trilogy. And personally, I enjoyed it more than anything since the original trilogy.
Oh, okay.
I really
I like-
liked it.
I like the second season, not so much the first. First
Really?
just seemed very, I don't know, it
I
just
think
didn't
the
catch
second's
me.
better.
Really?
I think the first has some great episodes. It does have a few episodes that are a little more boring or slower, but I think it
Bye,
does.
Joe. Hope you feel better.
Recover.
Sorry, he was signing off.
See you later, Joe.
Oh, sorry,
I
interrupted
kind
you.
of noticed this trend. It seems like more people go to like anime these days because they have more originality, more spark, more of imagination, and just they take risks. I guess you could say. Right now, film industry, they're kind of playing it safe. That's what they did with Force Awakens. They played it safe. They kind of took some of New Hope, sprinkled it in there.
Yeah.
You got Force Awakens, so you kind of have to take risks because it could be a hit or miss. But to me, I feel like the 80s and 90s. Wouldn't you say they were kind of like a risk for some of these movies?
Joe, you got to come back for the next 2000 discussion.
Maybe we'll convince him to change his mind and he'll join us. But like Simon said, we can give him homework. some films he needs to watch, like how Arturo had to for the 1980s and 90s.
I have seen pretty much
Hey,
a
Jeff.
lot of the 2000s, but there may be some that I haven't.
I've seen more in the 2000s, obviously, than I have of the 80s. And well, okay, I say that because I started a Letterboxd account, and I was looking at my graph, my stats, and obviously there's like the peak is up at the 2000s and onward is like where I've got the most movies logged.
Right.
But I'm
Yeah,
not
that
done
always-
logging my movies on there.
You always see with Vader. That was a good one.
Yes,
I'm kind of curious.
that was such a good scene.
I think Solo was good. I don't know, not great, but I liked it a lot. And
It
I
was
don't, no one else
passable.
seemed to like it, but I thought I was really happy with. I watched it twice. I've watched it again. Like I thought the main dude, I was really like, he's not gonna pull off Han Solo, but I think he did. Like he was charismatic. Maybe he wasn't like Han Solo, but he was a good lead and had Chewie. Woody Harrelson was cool. It had some good acting. Like I really wasn't disappointed at all. I thought it was fine.
It was okay. Like I didn't hate it like I did the trilogy movies, the trilogy sequels. But I liked of all of the new things that have come. Well, not count like the I have only seen one season of Mandalorian, but I really liked Rogue One much more than I thought I was going to, despite the way it ended, which is kind of a downer.
It is, but it makes sense.
Because of what happens, but it makes complete sense in that scene with Vader, like he's saying in the oh my gosh, like Vader became like a horror movie character in that scene. It was like I was actually scared for the people. And I thought that was so well done. I was super impressed. There is that person back again, or
Stop
the bot
it,
or whatever.
Stop spamming.
For me, Rogue One was
Yeah.
fun. I just didn't have
like
any
that.
characters that I really was a big fan of. I guess for that I don't know. The two main characters were kind of like too dreary for me. I don't know.
Yeah, it was kind of a more sober sort of
It was, yeah.
serious. Oh wow. Okay, D.
Okay, D.
D's cursing us.
I don't know. I could hear myself again. Oh geez.
But yeah, like I wish that in general the industry should try. They should try to at least not always play it safe all the time. I mean, they need to try to get more creative with some of their stuff. That's how.
The thing
Yeah.
is, the budgets are so large that one movie could make or break a studio.
Yeah.
Mhm.
This studio has too much. They're getting a little bit. I don't know. Maybe they've always been this way, but it feels like sometimes the studio just puts their fingers in it too much, and it can just screw things up. And
Like
I don't
there was something I wanted to say about that.
I'm really impressed with.
I think
go ahead.
okay. I think the other thing is also the writers. They probably need to have like people that are more creative when it comes to writing, because that could also hit or break a movie too. Because mostly it's the writing that counts, not the production side of it.
No, they
The
say
pro-
that movies are made 3 times: once in the writing room, once on set, and the third time in the editing room.
Mm-hmm.
So it's a multidisciplinary thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like
That's
there's some
yeah,
great
for
scripts out there just poorly executed.
I always wanted to be. My
Right.
dream was to be a writer, director, editor, and then I realized like
Oh, there's so much work involved.
I
It's,
don't
it's
think
so complex. I just no.
It's like-
I do it every day.
it's your coworkers that suck. It's like if I could just be and just be like, y'all do this shit now. I write it, I direct it. I think I can make it happen. But like working your way up is like the coworkers and shit. Having to make nice with Hollywood people is like
So, right, and that's a complex world to have to navigate. But you know what's really cool about this day and age that we're in, despite the issues that are prevalent in a lot of films and TV shows, but basically nowadays anybody can make their own film. I mean, it's much easier now, and I've been super impressed with Jim Cummings' work.
mhm.
That dude. So he, for anybody who doesn't know, he showed up in Halloween Kills at the very beginning. He was the poor cop that got shot in the neck. So he is a director. He's also an actor. He also edits his own movies. And the very first time I ever saw him was in The Wolf of Snow Hollow. Have you guys heard of that film?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Well, I watched a trailer for it, and I liked it because of werewolves and horror, and it looked quirky and crazy. And then my brother Tim bought it for our Voodoo account, and I watched it. I did a reaction to it.
Your reaction to that trailer. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. So I did a reaction to the movie. It finally got out of copyright hell. And when I first saw it, I did not realize, I'd never heard this guy. I'm like, is he the same? Is he the guy who directed it? His name is Jim Cummings. He's got the same name as the dude who does Winnie the Pooh, the voice of Winnie the Pooh.
Oh, bother.
But it was a cute, not cute. It's not cute, but it's like I was impressed with it. And I had my little issues with some of the stuff, like some of the editing and everything. But this guy, he's like, I've been listening to him talking on different podcasts and stuff. And he's come out with another movie. He came out with something called Thunder Road. I think that was the name of it, which was a full-length movie of a short that he had made. Now he came out with a beta test, which just came out. And it's getting good critical reviews. That didn't always matter. But I'm just really impressed with his drive. Like, he's like, I'm just going to do it myself. Obviously, the studios aren't going to do it. I'm just going to grab the reins and just go ahead and take charge and do it myself. And he's like putting out these things, and it's decent quality, because obviously he knows people that know how to film properly, and he does the editing. He knows how to edit. I'm just like, this guy. So
awesome.
Anybody who knows people or knows how to do certain things, they really could do a lot of this stuff on their own.
Absolutely.
You don't necessarily need the stupid studios.
I've been kind of editing for about 12 years now. So I've kind of just taught myself how to do it. It just takes time.
Yeah, you did.
Do it.
Working with Adobe, I just would. Okay, hold on.
I mean, they've been commercials for how good these your phone cameras are, that they're just better high definition than the 90s movies had, that you can just it's crazy. It really, if you just have enough vision, and I mean, it does take a lot of collaboration. I have lots of vision and I have terrible people skills.
Yeah.
To be honest, I would not want to work with people. If I were a director, I don't know if I would even want to work with people. I would rather just be here editing my stuff, maybe get people that I do know to do voices, but all in all, I'm here. I'm working on my stuff. I don't have to deal with people outside of the house.
But in order to
write stuff, and you can make stuff. I just want to write books, and if the other people want to make it in movies, that's cool. But
yeah,
it's just I don't know. I don't work with people that well.
Right.
They
hold up at home.
I don't want to get off, but I like working with people, but I don't like working with people I don't want to work with.
Yeah, I understand.
That's probably the case with a lot of people.
The truth for everyone, right?
I don't even like people I know. Archer, that's Clerks in what?
What?
What are you talking about, Simon?
Clerks is like the famous sort of success story of indie success story, and you're into the Japanese stuff, so there you go, make a Japanese Clerks.
He's never seen Clerks.
No,
that's the Kevin Smith. No, and I haven't either, actually.
Jesus.
Yeah.
I know. He's like, listen to him. The snarky. Oh, Jesus.
El Mariachi.
I heard a comment the other day.
Yeah.
That may sound like a bit of a criticism of everyone here, but I was wondering what your guys' thoughts on it were. And that is that YouTube has become less of a place of creativity and more a reactionary place. So what do you think that'll do to the culture of it?
I always assume that whatever I'm looking at is a small part of, I mean, if you're talking about people using this in the hundreds of millions, if not billions of views, then I don't even know how to keep track of what's going on with it. You know what I mean? And that itself is just a relatively small chunk of social media.
I don't go to YouTube to see creative work like movies or shows, because to me, YouTube is kind of more like, I view it as sort of a source of information. Like movie reviews, movie reactions. That's just kind of like a fun time.
Oh, see, we're the opposite.
And then you got there's political stuff, there's medical stuff, there's how-to stuff. So
Yeah.
I don't really see it as like a creative site. Like if I want something like that, I would typically go to like Netflix or Amazon.
Yeah.
I know that there are channels on YouTube that like, indie animation and stuff like that, people that do their little shorts and things like that. But to me, that's not the primary draw of YouTube.
I mean,
Personally.
so many people use it for so many things, and I will say, like, I didn't know reaction stuff existed until about 2 years ago, and then I just kind of came upon it. The algorithm showed it to me. I didn't even know about what the algorithm was until I don't pay attention to internet shit, and I know that there's still a lot of people that don't even know reaction shit exists, or like you tell them, oh, people react to shit, and then people watch it, and like, what? Like, there's just a lot. There's so much out there. So I guess in general, the reaction culture on YouTube is definitely increased. But
Oh, it has.
now is what YouTube's about. I don't know how to say what YouTube's really about. It's different for everyone. I mean,
Tutorials. I mean, so much stuff you
like
can learn
the thing
on there.
is, I view YouTube as more. Okay, I view it as two things. I view it as seeing people's projects or their content, and then I also see it as, goodness, I forgot.
Yeah, you did forget.
I forgot.
What's that
Oh.
even?
I cannot believe I forgot. I had it in my head.
So I'm getting distracted with these comments. Someone asked if
Okay,
Simon was related to Kevin Smith, and Simon, being Simon, says maybe our family has very low standard for sexual partners. Okay. As far as reaction videos, yeah, go ahead. Finish.
No. I'm still thinking.
That
Keep
was
going.
great that it was simultaneously self-depreciating and a diss.
They control the reaction channel success as that's true, but I personally didn't know about reaction channels. Okay, my first exposure to reactions was after an episode of the Game of Thrones, an episode in Game of Thrones, The Red Wedding.
Oh, I remember when people were playing that.
That's when I was watching. I was like, "Oh, this is so much fun to watch this!" And that's when I first became aware that there was such a thing.
Okay,
I didn't even.
I remember.
That was a while back.
So
okay,
I view it as seeing people's projects and their content, and I kind of view it more as like watching shows on a website. I've kind of seen
what
this
shows
trend.
do you watch on?
Just like for example,
on
maybe The
YouTube.
Completionist. That's his show on YouTube.
Oh yeah, but
stuff like I feel like YouTube is a place where you can watch people's projects and contents, but also they basically have shows. It's their show.
He's basically just he does like game reviews and talking about
Yeah,
games,
but
so it's
it's
not
a
like the
show.
same thing as a series.
But it's still a show, though. It's still a show.
Mhm.
It seems to me like YouTube has taken over like the cable TV stuff. Most people watch stuff on YouTube to see people's creativities. The only thing with YouTube now is that they're adding all these ads on videos now.
They're putting ads on. They're putting ads on people's videos of channels that they will not allow to monetize, but they'll put ads on there.
Yeah, that's stupid. YouTube
has that happened on your channel yet, D?
I haven't. I haven't noticed it from my end, so I don't think it has happened yet, but it's possible.
I've seen an ad like on one of Aurelia's videos, and she's not monetized. But I just think that's like, I don't know, it just kind of bugs me because they used to let you monetize. I think if you had like maybe 50 or 100 subs, and then of course they changed it, and that was such a bummer.
They're making it harder for people, to be honest.
Yeah, they do.
Like I was
It's
making some money, and then that's around the time that they put that policy where you have to have 1,000 subscribers to start monetizing your videos. So I'm like, okay, well, there goes
4,000 views within a year. No, 4,000 hours within a year.
4,000 hours per year has to be every year, yeah. And the 1,000, so it's just like, I don't know, but it's okay. But I know, but I just think it's so cheap that they will put the ads on a video. They'll profit from the person's work, but they won't let the person profit at all.
And I would think like they would be smart enough to think that the people that are making like the money on YouTube, they also get a bit of that money. And you would think the more audiences go to that, let's say that YouTube channel, the more they'll make. But no, if not, they'll just demonetize the person and make a bit of money off of that, but that's about it. they need to think smartly about that, you know.
Well, I guess they had legal reasons for doing things the way that they did, but it's still frustrating.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Yeah. I didn't even know when you guys were talking about the reactions. I didn't know when I decided. I had said a while. I don't know when. I just remember at some point when I was going to do my channel, planning it before I actually decided to do it last year. I said, "Oh, I would do trailer reactions." So that sounds like an interesting thing. I like trailers. Well, why not react to them? Had no idea that there was this whole subsect of YouTube.
Mm.
And not
Oh,
only
you didn't?
trailers, but movies. And so as I was doing, I was like, "Oh, this is not new." But I think what was interesting is that even though I wasn't aware, what was good about me still doing it was that I found a way to kind of remix, I guess, kind of mix it up so that it works for me. Because I realized what I like doing with trailer reactions, and everyone's different, but I like, I don't know, I like getting into like the information. Like I know you saw the Halloween Kills trailer reaction I did, and I went into the entire history of Halloween, the franchise, and all that kind of stuff. So I think for me, it kind of still worked out. So I kind of have my own lane in the trailer reaction. But now that I see, I'm like, oh, okay, this was never anything that was like new as far as I was aware of.
Yeah,
YouTube's a good place to learn history too. I've learned like a lot.
Oh, I've
subscribed
to a few of those channels. Yeah, there's some good channels.
You guys watch Kings and Generals? That one? There's so many of them. I guess there's probably one of like a dozen.
Like I know Simple History, and then there was this one. He talks about like World War II stuff.
Don't
Like
they have some drunk history on there too?
Yeah, drunk history.
I watched that whole series. I love that stuff. I was just watching.
Oh my gosh! But I love the YouTube platform, but it's frustrating at the same time.
Well, I like the community. Like I like some of the people on YouTube. It's just the company I do not like.
Well, I guess that's just. But yeah, YouTube's great. Honestly, you can like I'm going on there watching tutorials about web press and plugins and all that, and just like anything you can think of, you probably find it. If it's something you need to learn how to fix a stinking washing machine, if it weren't for that, I wouldn't have found out what was wrong. It's just cool.
Yeah.
So you say it's more like a general utility?
It feels like it, honestly, because it's kind of like it's like you can find just about anything you need to. If there's something you need to learn how to do or to understand something, just there's something for everybody on YouTube.
Or enjoy something too.
Well,
it's just making me think of the internet in general and just what a crazy. It's so fucking insane, and we just don't really talk about it as a society. How like. Dude, the power, like the information power, the difference that is for us is so crazy to think.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I really think, like, I'm like half kidding when I say, like, I'm not really kidding, but it is like how the internet is kind of fallen upon society, I think, it's almost just absurd. Like, it's something like we have no fucking idea what's going on. We're animals that talk, and this shit is so powerful. And we don't know what the fuck's going on.
I know.
In our
and
own
you hardly know what to believe. And now certain narratives can't be controlled, like how some people want them to be.
The end of the world. Like this shit, we're
end of the world. Okay.
Like, the internet kind of makes things look bigger than they are, sort of deal. Have you ever felt that way?
Oh, you mean it magnifies and dramatizes
like it
things
magnifies what you think is like going around, but
like reality, on social media, like let's say Twitter
itself, like you
like
never
confirmation bias, or
people
you'll never run into like most people in society. I mean, not all, but most of the time you run into chill people. But in the internet,
on the internet, everything is
like
so magnified.
Nonsense. Yeah. You just think
Twitter people get all mad.
I mean, it probably is because
I don't think our psychology, but we're really equipped for it. It's crazy. I always think
there's a term.
What's that?
I was just going to say there's a term in anthropology called Dunbar's number, a term by anthropologist Robin Dunbar, which is that he discovered that all villages tended to be around 150 people. And that's number 150 started showing up everywhere when he started looking into it. It was like the average number of
Nice.
contacts in people's phones,
I need to look
number of
into
friends in
Dunbar's
MySpace, all that kind of stuff, number of
Mhm.
clients people have.
Yeah.
And it turns out that 150 seems to be the cognitive limit that our brains can handle for having meaningful relationships with each other.
Oh,
Yeah.
interesting.
So if
Yeah.
you see a discussion online that exceeds 150 people, then it's going to seem huge to us.
Yeah.
Right, yeah.
Because that's what we lived in for probably tens of thousands of years. I think honestly I could go on about I think about this shit all the time. Why we are
Conspiracy.
shit like that. But yeah, we I just think humans we don't have claws and fangs, and we're meant to socialize. We're not meant to kill each other naturally. And we lived in groups of 100 or 150 small groups for tens of thousands of years. And we're just meant to be that way. We're simple animals in that way. And now with this shit, with the internet and the 21st century industrial shit, we don't know what the fuck's going on. Like this is chaos. I always think it's like I like to.
You're
be
just
dark.
stoned, man.
I know. I like to be dark and clever. And they say the Latin for apocalypse is to reveal. Like, and apocalypse means to reveal in Latin, and the internet reveals everything. And it causes the apocalypse.
Yeah, it feels like it's the end of the world. Like when you see an
Because we
earthquake.
can't handle the revealing of everything. Any and everything we want to see is all in everyone's pockets, and it's going to be the end. This is crazy.
Okay, we're getting really deep and dark here.
I know, it's fun.
Someone, I wanted to touch on something. Gavin said the easiest way to not get demonetized is cut the video up and put it through the pre thing. And I'm not sure what you mean by the pre thing, but sometimes cutting the video up still doesn't matter. Sometimes I'll get flagged for something that's like 10 seconds or less. So I'm
telling you,
I don't know.
Even the fair use issue is a problem too.
I just dispute everything. I take it all the way to the end. Is what happens. So
yeah,
whatever. Somebody, if they pre-approve it, then demonetize it. It's their fault. Well, when you say demonetize, I don't know. Are you talking about the channel as a whole or just a specific video? A specific video gets demonetized if maybe a claimant comes along and claims it, but then you can always dispute it or appeal it.
I know
or even take it
Sony
further than
Entertainment Music tends to always put a copyright claim on my videos. And they probably have some connection with some of the anime studios, I guess, because, like, okay, films is my number one issue with copyright. Animes.
When you do a review, even though reviews are very clearly fair use.
Yeah, animes are second. And I know anime that come out of Japan, they don't seem to get the whole fair use over here. Now, technically, I can dispute it and they'll put it back up. That's why it's usually second issue. Films are always number one. But the third of the least is games. Games I can kind of just put up, except I know
seem to be a little bit more lenient.
Yeah, Nintendo had an issue. I think they've kind of chilled a bit. But I remember they had a big issue where they just put a claim on everything and make money off of it. And then they finally released that. So games are more chill. Anime's kind of like in the middle. Not too bad, but not great. And then films, it's just an issue. Universal, Warner Brothers.
Yeah, Universal. What's that?
I was just going to say that speaks to the culture. We have a very individualist culture over here, whereas it's very collectivist in the East.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Like in China, they have a big problem with copyright infringement because, like, in their culture, like they don't really recognize copyright.
No, that's right. They don't.
Yeah. So, like in Shenzhen, the place where they make all the electronics and everything, you can usually get a brand new iPhone before it's released with better specs from someone stealing the plans and
right. Yeah,
making it in their little
reverse
workshop.
engineering and everything. Yeah.
Sin, I'm probably gonna have to head out.
Yeah, that's fine. I know we've been going at this for a while. I was going to ask you, what's the main company that do you have any issues with copyright on your video? Yeah, on your videos. Like, do you get flagged, like for your reaction to trailers and stuff?
I would say probably the main one that I can recall is probably Warner Brothers.
Yeah, I
Warner.
figured.
Okay. But you dispute it, right? You dispute the
I
claim.
mean, I have before, but I wasn't sure if I should since I'm not monetized, so I hadn't gone through the process necessarily. I think I've only done it once or twice.
Oh yeah, no, you should dispute it. You should dispute it.
Okay.
Yeah, they don't need to be
I can
making.
talk more about
They
stuff
don't.
like
They
'cause
don't
I
need to be making
kind of-
money off of your video that
Well-
you're critiquing their.
Well, I mean, I get why they do it. It's just kind of automatically built
Yeah.
in. But I've learned which ones are easier to deal with and others, and like how far you can go with certain things. So I mean, we can talk about something like that, stuff like that later. But yeah, you should dispute it because a lot of times it's just an automatic thing, and
Mhm.
if you dispute it, and if the human lays eyes on it, then a lot of times they're just like, okay, yeah, we'll release the claim. Here you go.
Like that's the
And it's fine.
confliction. Like I get the copyright, but YouTube overdoes it with the copyright system.
It's not necessarily you. It's the companies are like making YouTube
messed
do
up.
it.
Yeah, the system itself is messed up, and I wish they would fix it. But
This could actually make a good dedicated live stream, like a creators chat.
Talking about like
Yeah.
content,
all
yeah,
the different ways. Like I've learned Universal will deny your claim. They'll deny your dispute. They will also, they'll deny your dispute, and then you can appeal. Of course, if they deny your appeal, then you can get a strike, right? But this is what Universal does. They deny your dispute, then you can file an appeal, and then they just let the 30 days run out. And then after 30 days, it's done. You know, the claim has been released because they just don't respond to it. I think with Universal, it's just kind of like an automatic thing. So you can carry that all the way through to the end. So far, knock on wood, they've never given me a block or a strike or anything. So it's just, every company's different. It's weird. Okay.
So weird.
All right. Well, I guess we should draw things to a close. Dee needs to leave. I've got animals I've got to give medicine to.
Yeah. Well, this was
Colin's going to come back really
decade to
confused.
cover.
Who's going to come back?
Colin's going to come back really
no,
confused.
poor Colin. Oh no.
Colin, get back in here, right?
Okay, no, we can always end the live stream and then just say goodbye to him.
Well, yeah, I was just
offline.
wanting to say to
So-
wrap up this decade. This was a pretty fun decade to talk about. I got to watch all these '90s movies. I think I've watched more '90s movies than '80s movies, to be honest.
Yes, you have.
'97. Goodness, I watched about 6 to 7, I think, but probably more. Princess Mononoke counting, but yeah, a lot of great stuff like this decade. And I'm looking forward to talk about the 2000s.
2000.
be
Yep.
fun.
Thanks,
Yes.
Glenn. It was good to see
Yeah.
everybody.
See ya.
Okay, we'll hit end broadcast. You don't have to leave, Colin. We'll just say goodbye offline. Poor Colin. And I know you need to. He just like cut himself off the last time because he thought when I hit end broadcast he had to go, so he just like left. He was gone.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay, bye everybody. Thanks for joining us.
Bye bye.
Take care.